Opa! Welcome everybody to Stavvy's World, 904-800-STAV. Call in, we'll solve all your problems. We're very happy to have Geoffrey Asmus in the fucking building.
What's up? Thanks for having me.
Of course, in the freaking building. Cover over that curse. We're really trying.
This is a clean pod? This is a clean pod?
For the first 5 minutes, it's clean.
A little Christian? Okay,
for the first 5 minutes, it's clean.
Gotcha,
and then
for the YouTube,
for the
algorithm.
And then it goes off the rails
Trick them.
in a major
Then we talk
way.
about the trafficking and all that.
Oh,
there we go.
And then we make plans to traffic. We only
Probably a lot of options in Greece. Probably right next to Turkey. A lot of migrants there we can get. Yeah.
Even the people that aren't like specifically being sex trafficked. It's like there was a phenomenon 20 years ago when I was going where like every nurse, like you could all of a sudden every old guy could afford a nurse from Russia.
Oh, really?
And they were just tens.
Oh, it was
and they were caring for like old men, and it was like this thing where it's like, you know,
that was like their Asian massage parlor.
Exactly.
Thing?
In-home.
Okay.
It's exactly the same thing where it's like, not all of them are jacking you off.
Right.
But
I'd like that. Yeah,
a good percentage
We just have the option of getting tugged off by a Chinese lady. I want different races. Why is it just a Chinese lady? Can't we have a Russian thing, too?
It's true.
I'd like a little difference.
You do think, yeah. Well, there's the Russian baths, but those are all pretty much old Russian dudes.
Isn't that just like old orgies? Yeah, old
but
dudes.
They're straight, but they're all hanging out naked.
They're too pussy to be gay.
Yeah,
that's what it is. They're like dipping their toes in, but they're like, oh, I don't want to be gay.
There's a level of homophobia where like it's horseshoe theory, where it's like someone gay as hell and someone homophobic.
Yeah,
they act exactly the same way.
They're thinking about gay sex as much as a gay man is,
and they're just hanging out nude. They're like our boy Giulio Gallerati.
Okay.
He went to Afghanistan and he would just the Taliban guys hold hands and walk around.
Oh yeah,
like just because they're like. It's
they're like, we could never be gay.
To think, the idea,
like, even if our dicks touched, they wouldn't get hard. It doesn't matter. God, Allah won't let us be gay.
Exactly.
Type thing.
And that's kind of the vibe at the Russian bathhouse, where it's like these guys are just naked, playing cards, dicks out, lounging, watching like TV, and it's like, all right.
Like, it's gay to be around women.
Yeah,
it's gay to talk to women. Only gay men are friends with women. Why would we be around naked women?
I'm hanging out with my boys, dicks out. Yeah, so there was some light kind of trafficking going on there.
When I was in Greece, there's packs of wild dogs everywhere. That was a weird thing. In Athens, they're like, don't go out after midnight. These packs of dogs might rip you to shreds. I'm like, what? Because they don't put down dogs. Yeah. It's like a law. You can't euthanize a dog in Greece, I guess.
Oh yeah, that's very interesting, Jeff. But can I stop you right there? It just feels like you're the kind of guy who needs to know about our sponsor, Freeze Pipe. Yes, if you want the opportunity to shop the smoothest pipes, bubblers, bongs, and dab rings at everyday great prices, just go to thefreezepipe.com and use code Stavvy for 10% off your entire order. That's thefreezepipe.com and code Stavvy for 10% off. Shop today and start fighting fire with ice, Geoffrey. I'm sorry, you were saying?
Then they have huge roving packs of dogs that own some neighborhoods. That's like, oh, the Dobermans have this one.
I think the dog problem has gotten better.
Did they?
I think
this is like 2011 maybe or something.
Yes, that was the height. Maybe they're allowing you to.
They had to euthanize them. That's like such a bizarre form of like morality. Like,
I know.
We won't kill a dog, but we won't give people welfare.
Right.
Be kind to the dogs.
Well, it's funny because it's like, they wouldn't kill a dog, but it's like, refugees start showing up. They're like,
yeah,
come on,
we'll kill these dogs. Cut off their dicks. Tear out their uteri.
But it's funny, that is crazy. I had no idea that was the law because from my experience, Greek people do not give a fuck about animals.
Really?
Like they like them, but push comes to shove. Like my mom has a dog, she loves the dog. But the doctor was like, this dog, they found this dog. She's old as shit. She was getting ran through. We're talking like this cute little dog, nipples long as hell. You know what I mean?
Just getting tugged on.
Just how many litters of puppies this tiny ass little Shih Tzu has had, right? And so they found her in the streets of Baltimore, and they love the dog, but it has a heart condition.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, and the doctor was just like, okay, well, you know, it might need, we might need a test. We have to do this test for $500, and if the test comes back positive, she's gonna need a surgery that costs $8,000.
And your mom's like,
and my
no.
mom was like, don't do the test.
Yeah.
She was like, if it comes up, I'm not getting her the surgery. It was like the idea that this, like, there's a very like American thing where it's like people are like cutting. Like, I have friends who fucking cook like pork chops.
Oh yeah,
for their
they
dog.
order those boxes of fresh dog food that arrive every week. That's insane.
But it's like this dog, or they put it in diapers and like
they eat
make
better
it a
than
smoothie.
half the Bronx.
These dogs. There's no food deserts for these dogs.
Yeah, exactly.
These dogs ain't having ramen on their birthday.
These
dogs get fucking lamb chops. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And so it is that to me is because I haven't had pets because it's like.
You never had a pet you were in love with as a kid?
No,
or anything?
but we had really bad asthma.
Oh,
so we never had like a
so
furry
you like
ass,
the pet could kill you kind of like
the
thing?
pet could kill.
Okay.
And the worst part is my brother who really wanted the dog was the one who had the worst asthma.
Oh.
He grew out of it. Now he has a dog. He has 2 cats.
He stopped being a little bitch.
He stopped being a pussy. The doctor diagnosed him with being a pussy when he was 7. Was like,
wrap your mind around it, you idiot. You can have a dog.
And who knows? Maybe our parents were also using that as a convenient excuse.
Oh yeah,
but
we're protecting you.
Yeah, but we did do we had to fucking do a nebulizer a lot. Like you ever do that?
I never had that.
Where it was just you had to just I'm coming back to this right now. Where it was like
the inhaler and the nebulizer.
That you had to like do for a half hour every once in a while. Like we would have like asthma attacks, and it would be like,
isn't that scary? Like you
I just didn't know any better. But yeah,
that would freak the shit out of me.
it was just like you just couldn't breathe that well, and then we just had this thing which was kind of cool because I remember it would be like.
It's like a little stim
gun.
pack, yeah.
It was basically you held like a weird gun and you were just sucking this air that like tasted like scientific.
Oh, really?
And in my head, it was almost felt like you were like Darth Vader.
Oh, yeah.
Like it was cool. I remember being like, this is kind of fucking
It's like
sick.
a steroid, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm almost positive
I
it's a
felt
steroid,
like I was like doing I was like getting stronger.
Right,
like,
yeah. Your
cooler.
lungs have an 8-pack.
Yeah.
There we go. That's
so
good.
we did have fucked up things, but I wonder if they ever they lied to us. But yeah, to this day I'm like,
you don't feel that love towards animals that the rest. I mean, Americans, we get real into our fucking animals. I feel like, yeah.
You know, and like I have that dog I was just talking about, Boo Boo.
Boo Boo?
Yeah, Boo Boo.
Incredible.
Boo Boo with a Greek
name.
accent. Not Boo Boo, Boo Boo.
Boo Boo.
Yeah. Boo Boo. I love Boo Boo. I love her and her fucking long ass nipples. But you know, somebody shoots the dog. I give it a little. I give him a little twist. Pinch.
Yeah,
I give him a little bit. I play with them like gum you find on the underside of your desk in elementary school. You know, I give him a little bit, and then you're like, and then you're like, what am I doing? You absentmindedly find yourself playing with it, and you're like, disgusting. I treat that's how I treat her nipples. But like, I don't have that, and like, I think I don't know. Did you grow up with pets and stuff?
Yeah, I had a dog I was deeply in love with in Minnesota.
Minnesota, that's animal country.
Yeah. My mom grew up on a farm. Yeah, so she has that love of animals.
But see, that's
she also had to like shoot them.
Exactly.
And, but she like loves them, but she's like, I put them down too.
Right.
I put the shotgun in its mouth. Yeah, it wasn't even sick. It just was like we got bored.
Yeah. I respect that level of animal love because you do love them, but it's like
they love them, but they know that life is transient. And they're like, it's got to go.
Yeah.
We can't have another. Yeah, they had like 30 dogs at a time, and like 10 cats because they like kill the rats and protect the chickens or whatever.
Right.
Yeah,
but they have a job.
They have a job.
Those animals
they have a purpose.
earn their keep.
When the cats stop catching rats, they're done. They're out of the family. You got a fucking quota.
You got to earn,
You got to
bring
5 rats to the porch. As like an offering. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, farm life is wild. So they would have like chicken slaughters. Our uncles would invite us to the chicken slaughter every year, and they just
invite you to it.
I only went once when I was a kid. That was like their gathering. They're like, we're gonna have a potluck, and they're like fucking chop chickens' heads off with axes and shit.
That chicken was probably good as fuck though.
It wasn't delicious. As good as you thought it would be.
Really?
Rural Minnesota food's disgusting, actually.
Even the fucking fresh ass chicken.
I think my relatives didn't know how to cook. Honestly, I really think they were the food we ate as a child in like my relatives that is terrible.
Really?
It's like Jello salad and like you ever have that shit like meatloaf and like hot dish and stuff. It's disgusting. It's like Norwegian. They're gross.
The worst.
The worst whites. The worst whites. Food wise. Yeah. Lutefisk. You know what lutefisk is?
What's that?
It's like pickled herring. It's disgusting. It's like gelatinous. It's really gross.
I don't know why everything's gelatinous or
they love head cheese too. It's like brains
you went
cheese.
There, didn't you?
To Norway, yeah.
What was the food? It was all bullshit, right?
There's some good stuff. I had like something that was kind of like a reindeer pot pie.
Yeah, the reindeer and elk was good when I went to Norway, but the rest was trash. Yeah. It's so expensive too.
It's expensive.
Food was brutally expensive.
I had some like cured whale one time, which was just like there's like this strips of like it almost looked like whale jerky or something, but like a little softer than jerky or whatever. But it was like all black and shit. They're also endangered, but I was like, I want to try this.
Sure. Yeah,
wow. Eldest, like the owner of Jimmy John's, going on safari. Eldest killing extinct animals for his own fucking perverse pleasures.
And Norway's like the final ethno state. It's so white. It's like, is this okay? You're like, is this allowed anymore? It's like, was Hitler Norwegian? It's a little like,
why didn't he just move to Norway? He could have solved a lot of problems. They would have been like,
yeah, we love your ideas.
I know, it is so funny you see that, and you see like Japan. It's
Japan's
like,
so homogenous racially,
and like they're racist and like, but smiling to you, where they're just like, no, you can't come in. That happened.
We don't want black people here.
Yeah.
Like smiling at the camera, like
Like we were trying to go to some park, and they were like, some lady was just doing this.
They really?
Even whites.
Really?
Yeah. They were like, and smiling. They were doing the hand X thing and being like, no. And I had a friend who lived there. And she was telling me how it's like they'll just tell you like, oh yeah, the rent. She'll respond to like an apartment. She was looking for an apartment. Let's say it costs $3,000 a month or whatever. They'll be like, oh yeah, I mean we listed as $3,000 a month, but you're not Japanese, so it's $3,500 a month.
They're just like they can legally
and they just say
rent discriminate against you.
You can legally just discriminate, and everyone's just like, I mean these are the rules. You know, which is like, which I guess. So I guess if like white supremacists like made fucking PlayStation, you could have at it. You know what I mean? You just haven't made anything good.
Like, I get why the Japanese don't like white people. I could wrap my head around why they might be like that.
100%.
We're all just masturbating over Oppenheimer. They're just like, you don't get to go to our parks, okay?
And also think about the white guys that love Japan.
Oh yeah,
what a brutal guy that is. Like they're just going, just the fucking Reddit bros, just some fat like a guy who looks like me. I know you're all thinking it. A guy with you take my soul out, put a loser into this body. Yes, that's who we're talking
down
about.
That path.
100%.
You could have, but you chose not to.
I chose not to.
That.
By God's grace, he made me, good at comedy, and not an anime fan. Thank God.
Thank God. Anime sucks. I know that's gonna make people mad, but it sucks. I don't get it.
I mean, Dragon Ball Z will always have a place in my heart, but I guess people that love anime think that sucks too.
Oh, really? Is that hack anime?
It is.
I never got that even as a kid. I didn't really understand what was going on.
Yeah.
I might be an idiot, but I don't know.
No, it was not. You definitely weren't an idiot for it. But for whatever reason, Dragon Ball Z was huge in Baltimore. And you didn't even watch. Did you watch it, Eldest?
I watched it a little. I never got too deep into it. It was like a little hard to follow, but I would get sucked in randomly watching like, Cartoon Network at 10 p.m. You're like, whoa, this is kind of sick.
Yeah. Okay. But anyway, think about who's going. So you're talking about anime fans.
Yeah.
Just fucking neckbeards going to, find the waifu in Japan. They're going to fuck prostitutes and buy like child pornography.
Sure.
Like they have like in the stores, they have like, they'll have like a fucking manga that's like the girl is like it looks like a little kid, but it's like it's actually an 8,000-year-old witch or something. You know what I mean? So
really?
It's like they have like statuettes. I was like, I remember I went to Japan with some friends, and one of their girlfriends bought essentially like these weird child like slave statues and like a manga
fuck?
like that. Yeah, it was fucked up.
We were right to drop the bombs. Yeah. We were right. We were trying to stop sex trafficking. Shout out to Oppie. Don't you think the Asian fetish comes from like because our grandpas went to Japan and that's probably the best sex of your life during war. You finally get to Japan, you won the war. The Japanese women are like, thank you for saving us from the emperor. They're sucking your dick like freedom.
I don't think the Japanese were sucking off the way the French were from saving them
they
from
were
the
better. They were more so into it.
Yes. I think they were doing a little. I don't know how consensual some of that Japanese sex was.
Rape. Yeah, a lot of that. Yeah, we don't need to gloss over that.
I don't know that it was a big victory lap for the Japanese women.
Probably not as much. Yeah. I think they have a generation of trauma there from a lot of our grandpas.
Yeah, I do wonder what. But it is funny because I went to Japan on like the first time I went, I was on a like a really bootleg USO tour. It was like the lowest level of those things. It was like Funny Bone, literally, like booked it, and I got paid.
Tokyo Funny Bone,
dude. I'm not kidding. I got paid $750
to go to Japan,
and their thing was like, we're covering a trip to Japan, and you're broke. And at the time, I was like, I was like, I may never be able to get to Japan. You know, I'm 24. I think I was living in Baltimore. It was right before I moved to New York.
Holy shit!
And I was like,
how'd they find you?
It was. The headliner that was doing it was a guy who's in DC. I don't know if you know Bent Washburn.
I've met him once. Yeah,
great dude.
Yeah,
funny as shit. Love that guy, and truly a great comic, and the kind of guy who was like, he was doing a new hour every year.
Oh, like when it wasn't
when it wasn't cool.
Yeah,
because he was just like, he would get to play cool, good clubs that liked comedy, but he was like, I don't have a fan base, and it's got to be the same people coming.
Sure.
And they have to see something different every year. Great joke writer.
I respect that.
He's the man. He's great.
There was no reason to write a new hour back then. He just did it because he's good at comedy.
Yeah, and he's good at comedy.
I respect that.
A lot of great jokes, and so he was around DC at the time. I was doing a lot of stuff in DC, and I think the feature that was supposed to go got a DUI or something.
Oh, there we go.
And because it's like through the army, it's the one time. It's the one time you can't be a criminal and a comedian.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And so
usually we're rewarded for that. It's like a good story.
Yeah. Usually you get a nice 15-minute chunk for getting a DUI, but not in this case. And so I just got lucky, and he.
Do they censor you a lot when you perform for the troops? Are they like, you can't talk about Bush, don't mention Afghanistan?
Really? I mean, I think there was a couple things. I think weirdly they didn't want us to talk about religion.
Okay.
But I don't remember. This was
right.
Fucking 12 years ago.
I bet the troops are great audiences, though.
They were good audiences.
They're like down to laugh because they're dark and fucked up.
Yeah, for sure. No, they were good shows.
Whenever there's a serviceman in the crowd, they laugh. They're trying to drown out the demons.
A guy with no
laughter.
leg, you could roast him for not having a leg.
Yeah.
And he would be like, I was stupid,
like,
you know?
I'm going to shoot myself in 5 years. Say whatever you want.
There was one guy, the only time I've had a bad service member was, you remember this one? You remember where this was? They were just talking all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And they were just like talking too much. I was like, hey, could you quiet down? And I didn't know that the guy was, whatever.
Sure.
And like at the end of the show, he just wouldn't shut the fuck up. And it's like, I tell like the last hour I did had like a, not a long story, but it was like this thing where it's like you kind of, the last 4 minutes, you gotta get a little momentum going, right? And so I just was like, all right, get the, I was like, this guy's got to fucking go. And like, as he's leaving, he was like, I'm a Purple Heart veteran. And it's like, does that mean you can't fucking shut the fuck up?
You get 20% off at Denny's. You don't get a fucking heckle, dude. That's not,
and then like 5 other veterans were like, fuck that guy afterwards, you know what I mean?
Also, do we believe that even? He's saying you're a Purple Heart out of nowhere.
I mean,
could
maybe.
Be stolen valor.
Yeah, he could be stealing valor.
It's going around.
Yeah. I don't know. He was like, and I think he claimed that it was like, one of his friends was like, he's got a condition because of the war. And it's like, buddy, sit in the back.
Yes. Oh, he was in the front?
Yeah, he was in the fucking front. He was like it was like in like a corner. Where it's like you couldn't see him, but he was just close, but you couldn't see him. So it was like
one of the worst places. Talk to him, but you can hear him.
I fucked with him a couple times and told him to shut up, and it worked until the very end. They just started chatting again. But yes, for the most part, they are great
Nice. This is kind of not that related, but do you notice people are heckling more recently? Do you think that's happening a lot more
I think because of all the clips and shit.
Yeah, we've created a monster. We had to do it, but it is.
It's tough. I mean, I actually don't mind it because I love shutting down people who think things are going to go a certain way. Yeah, it's actually kind of a nice thing. Well,
we're going to win most of the time because they're idiots.
It's a nice thing where it's like, it's kind of like the prison thing where it's like, you gotta fuck somebody up to make an example of them.
Oh,
like
sure. And then the crowd, you're a god.
You're a god.
Once you shut that guy
down. So and by the way, the people that have been like planning their heckle all day are the easiest, dumbest people of all time. Yeah.
You ask someone how they met, you're like, in a whorehouse in Bangkok. And you're like, when? They're like, oh, I'm kidding. We've been married for 12 years. They crumble immediately. They've been planning that all day.
And their best go-tos are always just calling you gay or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, great, man. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. What did you do today? I sucked your mom's dick. Okay, cool, dude. I'm going to do a lot with that. That's really funny.
That's definitely going around, but whatever. Comedy's fucking stupid, and it's a bullshit art form anyway. Who fucking cares?
That is, I like to hear that. People take it a little too seriously.
No, it's
now.
fucking
just
dumb.
It's just
all bullshit.
It's all bullshit.
It should be fun and a good time, and it's all fucking. And I'm only here because I was 19 and didn't want to work hard at anything, and I did open mics, and then you wake up and you're 34 and it's like, well, I can't not do this.
You started at 19 in Baltimore? Holy shit. Yeah. Oh, man. I wish I would have had that vision.
No, it's fucking stupid. I mean, you just don't have any life experience. Like,
you didn't go to college 19
through, I was in college, but I was on,
You're kind of fucking around.
I didn't give a fuck. Yeah. After I tried, I knew I wanted to do comedy, and I did it for a year in college, and then like all my immigrant guilt came back, and I was like,
I gotta be a doctor.
I took a year, a lawyer for me, but same idea.
Okay, gotcha.
And I took like a year and a half off where I was like, I really studied hard, and I got good grades. I was so depressed. My life was fucking horrible.
Because you had glimpsed the truth for a year, like this is what I should do, and then you went back to the real world.
And then I went to therapy, and I think a therapist who. I got free therapy because they were like students at the school.
Oh, yeah.
And I think this girl just like broke the ethical code where she was like, you should drop out of school.
Right, they're not supposed to tell you what to do. Yeah.
She just, for whatever reason, she was right. I don't remember her name, but shout out to her.
That's so funny. It's like when they have like the hairdressers at school cut your hair, but they're doing it with your psyche. This woman's like, I think your dad fucked you. Or like, I don't think you're right at all. I think it's your first week on the job.
It really was that. 100%, but yeah, it was like, you don't have I just didn't have anything to say for so
God!
long.
If I would have done comedy when I was 19, there would be some videos that would ruin my life.
Yeah,
I would have said some things about fat chicks that would not have been pleasant.
Yes,
I was a huge incel-adjacent.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Absolutely. I was like, nice guys just don't get fucked anymore. Friend zone. I'm nice to all these bitches. They won't suck me off. What the hell?
Well, okay, so
this is so embarrassing.
Is this true that you were a virgin for a wildly long time?
I was a virgin until I was 25 or 26.
Yes, because before, I think this is when I first moved to New York. I think we might have been on the same show.
I think we did a couple shows in like 2018 or 2019, maybe.
Maybe even
might have been earlier than that.
I think a little earlier than that.
I visited a lot.
I think I actually do remember. Okay, then you are the guy I was thinking of.
Oh wow, where was it? Do you remember? Was it Whiplash? Maybe
it was not Whiplash. It was like a shit. It was kind of shitty.
Yeah.
And it was like somewhere in Park Slope.
Sure. I used to run a show in Park Slope. It was probably the show I ran.
Was it your show?
Airplane Mode. Is that like Cherry Tree Bar by the Barclays Center?
I actually don't think it was that.
No. Okay. No.
It was. No. It wasn't because I did that one a different time.
Yeah, you did that.
This is like way before. This is before. Gotcha. I think I might have caught you on some visit for sure.
Gotcha.
Because I remember you being like funny. You were funny as shit, and then I was like. But I was like, how does this guy not get pussy? Because actually, you know what? You might have still been a That's the thing.
I might have been.
That's what it was.
A little bit.
That's what it was, dude. That's what it was. It blew my fucking mind.
I used to have a long bit about it.
Yes, you had a long bit about it, and it blew my mind because it's like, look, me and Eldis. We weren't getting too much pussy too early on.
You stumbled into a little bit.
But at a certain point, it's like you're 20, and it's like, all right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're 21. It's like you get to 20, and you're like, I'm not randomly gonna get pussy. I need a girlfriend.
I got to I got to 21. And I was like, maybe I'll go for the record. And then I was like, fuck you, girl. I don't want it. They said no for years.
But I do remember that because it was like this weird thing where I was almost looking at a alternate path my life could have gone.
Oh, I'm glad that you thought I should have got pussy. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I was like, because because when you get to 25, you know what I mean?
Someone's thrown it at you.
You were fun. That's the other thing. You were funny in a way where you knew what you were doing. So you definitely had you could have a conversation with someone. You weren't like somebody who was like accidentally. You were legitimately good at stand up, and it was like you. It just blew my mind that you could be like self-reflective and then still not get pussy. It was like you were fun, you were funny, you were like clearly aware of things. And I was like, how does he not fuck
drunk
once?
That's what it was. I got so drunk, I would just ruin it with every thought.
Yeah, really.
I would be the guy who was blacking out at 8:30 p.m. in college. I was the guy who was like, oh, Jeff puked before we even left for the bars. That was me. I got so drunk I couldn't get laid. It was insane, honestly. And I had this weird Catholic guilt a little bit too.
Yeah, because you grew up Catholic.
Yeah, and I built up sex in my mind to be like, sex is the most important thing in life. You got to find the right girl.
Oh,
Then you have sex and you're like, it's fine. It's just a thing we do.
It's like beating off plus.
Yeah.
It's like beating off without commercials.
Yeah, it's right. It's like the Patreon of beating off. Yeah. That's what sex is. It's like, oh, I unlocked a new tier. Extra content.
This is pretty cool.
Yeah. It's nothing special.
This is better than beating off, but is it worth it?
Was it worth $5 a month? No, probably not. Yeah. I built it up so much in my mind. It was embarrassing.
Now, we do want to say the Stavvy's World Patreon is worth $5 a month,
this
folks.
One is sex, though, is not.
And so please subscribe, Like I said, we don't pay Eldest until we make $100,000 a month. He's been doing this pro bono for the last 2 years. So subscribe if you want Eldest to be able to afford, nice life. That's just so crazy to me you were good enough at comedy to have this long bit about.
Oh, and women would come up to me. I mean, I wasn't attractive, but if you're funny, people will come up to you. And I would fumble the bag every single time. It was like a running joke in Madison where I started in Wisconsin. Oh, there's Jeff ruining it again with a fucking girl throwing herself at me. And I'm just like, you ever read about Napoleon? And she's like, what the? I'm trying to fuck you, dude. And I just had no idea. I could never read the signs that someone was trying to have sex with me. That was the problem, really.
Well, see, that's interesting because my problem was I kind of knew, and I was even pretty good at getting to because I was good at talking, whatever. Same thing, funny.
Sure.
But I knew, and once I knew that I could fuck, it wasn't that I missed it. It's that once I knew, I got so nervous.
Oh, that
that's when I would blow it. I was too aware of the situation.
Once you knew the opportunity was in existence, you were just like, ugh.
And the only times I ever even got close was when I was drunk as shit.
Yeah.
And then one time I was so drunk that even as a youth on my dick, I was just getting my soft, little ass dick massaged. I was so pathetic.
This is pretty early for this to be happening in your life. Yeah. Oh,
and then I just immediately went and projectile vomited. I was barely keeping it together. Because you're so
nervous too. Oh my God.
I was just so that one I actually wasn't nervous. I was like, that was actually the cruelest thing that's ever happened to me because I was like, finally, it's happening. This girl may or may... I've heard some rumors she has herpes. I'll probably be fine.
But you're at the point you're like, you don't care.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck at all.
Yeah.
It does it, whatever. I'm so drunk. But I'm like, it's finally happening. I'm sucking on titties.
Oh, there we go.
Things are going nice. And then you just feel that I'm starting to sweat. I'm
it's boiling
it's
up
that
in you?
Weird boiling where I was
God.
where it's just and I kind of have to fart also. So you're trying to hold the fart. You're my mouth starts doing that weird, you're about to throw up waterfall shit. Yeah. Oh, dude.
Oh,
it
God.
Was,
and she's like, are you okay?
And I'm like,
I just love your pussy so much.
Yeah.
I can't get enough of it.
Yeah.
I remember one time, I think I was 23. I thought I was going to finally have sex with this girl. And I started fingering her. And after 30 seconds, she's like, are you a virgin?
Oh no! That's brutal.
And then she like left my house at 3 a.m. in the middle of a Chicago winter storm. She's like, I gotta get out of here. This was what I was doing with my middle finger was just something painful beyond belief. I don't know what strategy I was using.
Oh, yeah.
That sticks with me. Lindsay, I'm sorry. Lindsay with 2 Z's, I remember. 1 Z, yeah. Oh, I don't remember.
That's
forget
brutal,
that
dude.
Yeah.
Are you a virgin?
She knew, and I was like, you nailed it, Lindsay.
Yeah.
You nailed it. That's tough.
I had another similar thing where it was like the first time I ever came close to pussy, the classic thing of thinking it's higher than it is. And I'm just like petting this girl's basically pubes. It was so fucking embarrassing.
I just did that. Her belly button. You're like, oh, I just did that. Real tight one here.
I just did that so long that she was like, all right, we gotta, this is over. I was like, no!
The Baltimore public school system failed you. They always fail us. They should give us all a little pocket pussy in 8th grade. Just show us what to do.
Yeah, everyone should know about finger popping. You know,
the first time
they should teach eating pussy while fingering in school.
They legitimately probably should. It's worth more than like learning about Reconstruction or whatever.
That's the one you chose?
Yeah.
You chose Reconstruction.
As I said it, I was like, that wasn't probably the one to say. Well, whatever. You know how I feel. Andrew Johnson, hero. No, kidding, of course. Terrible president. Terrible guy. God.
Hilarious
really
stuff.
Was reaching there.
Damn, dude. Yeah, that's fucking brutal.
And then the first time I was about to have sex with this girl, I ended up losing my virginity too. I came on the way in. Like while I was going in for the first one, I like laid down covering fire and just like hit her with some spray. And I was like, does this count? And she's like, it doesn't count. You can't post about this. Brutal. She gave me another go. Thank you.
What a gal.
Yeah, what a gal. Women are great. Women are great.
Oh no, women are so. That's another. This is a person I did have sex with, but there was one time. Here's how great women are. I think I actually said this on the pod recently, where I couldn't get hard the first time I was with this girl, and I was like nervous because I liked her. So it's such a fucked up thing where your brain is like, I don't like someone. My dick is nice and hard.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But
it's
like I actually thought this could be something, and my dick couldn't get hard, and my dick is small to begin with.
Sure.
So a soft dick. She thought
it looks like an infected clit. Yeah,
truly, it looked absolutely my foreskin too. She looked so bad to her. She thought that was my hard dick.
Oh,
and she came back.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my,
beautiful.
You deserve the Nobel Peace Prize.
That's body positivity.
For coming
back.
It really the final frontier for body positivity.
She just wanted to see what it was like when it was soft. She's like, I want to see the world's smallest penis. Yeah.
Dude, if my soft dick is your hard dick, I can't even do I shudder to do the math.
She's like, I gotta fuck him so he doesn't do a Holocaust against the Jews. With a micro penis like that.
Dude, my dick, if my soft dick was my hard dick, then my soft dick would be like one of those white watermelon seeds. You know, like not even the impressive watermelon seed, but like the one you could eat if you wanted to.
Oh wow!
Oh jeez,
no, that's beautiful.
So you got over the Catholicism guilt shit, and you would have fucked anybody that would have done it at some point.
I got way too into like romance. I was like, we can't have sex tonight. We gotta like get to know each other. And then they got to know me, and they're like, we don't have sex with you anymore. Like, this is kind of your shot before I knew who you were.
Right,
and then I realized you gotta kind of go for it. When the door's open, you go through it.
Yeah.
Then you realize that. Then you also realize I don't give a shit anymore.
Right.
Sex is so. It's nothing. It's just is that crazy? Do you think?
No,
I have sex once a week with my girlfriend. That's enough.
Yeah.
We pencil it in. It's like great, whatever.
I mean, I definitely still have that thing.
You get the dog every once in a while, but the guys who are like every day I gotta fucking fuck. I have no need for that.
Well, I definitely think for me it's I'm just such a I'm truly what was George saying? Glutton, but not even glutton. Like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, just it has negative connotations. but I can't.
What does it mean?
Like I overdo overconsumption, just like.
Okay, gotcha.
The fuck is the word I'm looking for? Is it one of the 7 sins?
Gluttony would be the one. It seems there.
Gluttony is overzealous.
I don't know. Whatever. The point is, like, I'll do a bunch of drugs.
Overindulge.
I'm very indulgent.
Right,
yes, I'm a very indulgent person, right?
Gotcha.
Clearly.
If you're into something, you love it.
And so I can really go down a rabbit hole, whether it's like fucking, ribs, whether it's ribs, whether it's pills, whether it's titties. Like I get in there and I'll just, and also it just, not to mention the fact that like when you don't get pussy, when you're like in that kind of, and luckily we skirted being incel-adjacent.
Yes.
Like, yes, we were talking about the friend zone a little too much, probably.
Oh, I was obsessed with the friend zone.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
But we never were naked misogynists, right? Like, we never.
Were before Reddit became that. I didn't really get into that red pill forum.
Yes. But, fuck, what was the point I was trying to make? But there still is something to, like, that damage of, like, feeling like you weren't cool, and like at least I have that. It seems like you're in a good.
Trying, but I still feel like I want women to like me.
Exactly.
I need that approval for sure.
It's that approval, and it's that thing.
I like to say no.
Yeah,
I like if someone asks me, I'm like, oh no, I have a girlfriend. Oh, very flattering. That's a great feeling to me.
Yes, with a girlfriend, that's a great feeling.
Yeah, great.
No girlfriend, I don't really. No is. I'm still not. I mean, I'm saying more no's now.
You're throwing the yes out on some questionable. Yeah, there we go. That's good. I respect that.
Quite a bit.
You got to spread the love.
Too much. Where it's like, and then it was like for a time I was on the road. I was sober because I was like, I'm getting too fucked up.
Oh yeah.
So I have to like, I'm gonna be totally sober. I'm not gonna smoke weed. I'm not gonna do anything. And then I just ended up like turning fucking into a weird preoccupation.
Oh, that was your thing you did after shows instead?
And that was the thing where it was like, and so that's not good either.
Because then you have to talk to these weird women in Des Moines. And you're like, oh, that's terrible.
Yeah. Which,
can be good. Can be good.
I would say 60% of the time is good.
You sure, sure. Did you have some that ended wildly? And
then 20, nothing. I think everyone,
they're all good gals.
They're all good gals. And the other thing is like, when you are a big, fat, overindulgent, horny piece of, like, when that's your front-facing public persona, everyone knows what's up. No one thinks we're gonna have a nice breakfast tomorrow. You know what I mean? It's like, you're trying to suck a little dick, trying to see my weird little dick. I'll suck on your titties. We'll watch diners, drive-ins, and dives. Maybe, maybe
you've talked about your little penis so much. I just want to see it.
But so I definitely
you're fucking a Guy Fieri in the background.
I probably literally have a good amount. Chopped a lot.
Oh wow.
Chopped a lot.
You need the thought of food to get horny. Yeah.
That's so funny because someone was there like, is this part of it for you? Like, she was just roasting me. I'm like, you know what?
You need red meat on the screen at a Holiday Inn to get hard. Okay.
But that was great. I
come when they plate.
Yeah. But so I don't know, dude. I'm trying to get that shit. Anytime you don't fuck too long, like it takes a while, you will be dealing with that one way or another.
Oh yeah, there does come to a boiling point. Like if I'm on the road for like 10 days and I come home, I'm like, honey, we gotta do it.
But also, it's like your shit is a little different. Like we were just. There was no guilt. There was nothing.
You weren't raised like Greek Orthodox. I don't know if there's
Greek
guilt in that at all.
Greek people don't give a fuck. I mean, the guilt you get from Greek people is just the like.
They're like, oh, you talked to a Turk today? You looked an Albanian in the eye?
Yeah, right there, dude, unfortunately.
Albanian?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Our whole our relationship is built on ironic racism. We've told this story a bunch of times on the podcast. Suck my dick, but Jeff will get a kick out of it. We had a friend's father was such a Greek villager. Eldest wasn't allowed in his home.
No way. To this in like 2020 or something?
No. It was 1998.
In a way, it's worse because it was like when I was a child. I was like in first grade. And I remember I would be on the outside of the fence of my buddy's backyard.
We would go in. We would like bring him sodas from inside.
What?
But they wouldn't let him inside.
I would just hang outside the fence for a bit.
What did I didn't know the Greeks and Albanians had beef like that. I was joking. I didn't know you guys had. I thought it was more Macedonians than Greeks.
Well, there is no Macedonia.
Oh, it's North Macedonia.
Macedonia does not
part
exist.
Of Greater Greece.
Macedonia is a part of Greece. There is no Balkan state that is stealing our fucking name. So let's get that straight. Let's start there.
There we go. That's funny because my friend, the guy I do my podcast with, is Serbian. His parents like, you can't date an Albanian. You can't date a Bosniak scum or whatever. I love that little ethno rivalry.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
We don't really get into it with the Albania is kind of like our. That's where all our Balkan racism.
Sure, they're like the hill people or whatever. Yeah,
and we got no beef with Yugoslavians, or the former
What's like the Alabama of Greece? Is it like Crete?
No, Crete. I mean, Crete is definitely its own thing. Crete probably is closer to the Texas of Greece.
Okay,
where it's like kind of
like
to the
wild
side. They have their,
cowboys a little bit.
Kind of their own vibe. Alabama. I mean, it's just the general we have the same shit. It's like hillbilly.
Sure.
It's really just not by the ocean, in the fucking mountains,
in the hills.
It's
They're
the
just
hills.
like farmers, shepherds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, and that's what our friend's family was. They were like that type of just.
Could they tell that you're Albanian by looking at you, or do they have that that superpower?
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
Probably not. But I mean, we knew. Obviously, everyone. I mean, we didn't have. It was never a problem for my family, obviously, but it was just so fun. It was like, our first little glimpse of that.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Anyway, what the fuck were we talking about before?
I cannot remember why I brought that up.
Oh, the guilt thing. That's right.
Yeah, the guilt. Greek
Orthodox.
Orthodox.
There is no Greek Orthodoxy. It's a religion, but no one actually practices.
Really?
It feels a lot like. It's more cultural than anything. It feels a lot like how most Jews are now.
Sure.
Where it's like no one really gives a fuck.
It's just like a heritage.
You
it's
show up
cool.
on the big holidays. You do that stuff. I mean, I'm sure
the weddings are crazy. I went to a Greek Orthodox wedding. They chase each other around a circle and they're throwing rice. You have to stand the whole time.
Yeah. There's so much standing.
There were no pews. You just stood the entire 3
hours.
No
pews.
It was in Wisconsin. They had like a huge Greek thing. No, you just stood the entire time.
Because our thing is like you're allowed to sit half the time.
Oh no, I wish.
They tell you when you can stand.
There were some old ladies wobbling. And I was like, just let her sit. Let grandma sit.
No, in my church, you only really had to stand up during the the gospel part,
right?
But you could sit down on some bullshit.
Was it in Greek
parts.
still?
In Greek. Our church was half Greek. It was like how I guess some Catholics will do Roman,
and they do a little Latin too,
plus English.
Yeah,
ours is you do this. You basically are doing the service twice. Because you do every part in Greek and every part in English.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Insanity. I love that. I love that.
But we never.
You're not told like masturbation is gonna make you blind or whatever.
A little bit, but not. But you would just.
But it's all like a wink and a nod. It's like you're gonna don't do it.
Yeah. Like it was like they would say don't do it, and then it's like. When we went to Greece, it's like my cousin's trying to sneak my 12-year-old brother out to take him to a brothel. You know what I mean? Like those are the cultural values.
Oh, okay.
We caught him. He didn't rape my brother through a Russian prostitute.
Oh man, that's crazy.
But like he thought he was doing that's him thinking he's being an awesome older cousin. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna get you statutory raped tonight because I'm chill. Oh wow.
So there was no like really religious guilt there. It was just more like the traditional, general, like I left my country for you guilt.
Okay, like we remember where we're from. We still have all nostalgia.
You're ungrateful. Like I did all this for you. Guilt.
Oh, you have the immigrant guilt.
But no.
Is there an anti-gay thread in Greek Orthodox?
Yeah, I mean, there's...
That's just a world thing.
That's just a world thing where it's like, it's this weird thing where... I mean, Greece is so interesting because it's... So much of it is tourism, right? So any place, even if without tourism it would have been conservative, like, it's open to anyone that's going to spend money.
They almost have to fake liberalism to make money.
It's been around so long that it's not even fake.
Right.
It's like this, like, yeah, whatever. Fuck. Like
because Greece has always been like people are tourists there, people are traveling through. Constantly. They're like, we got to allow this like infidel shit going on.
Yeah.
We got to make our money.
But then you spend enough time with people like that, and you're like, the human thing takes over, where you're like, oh yeah, these are fucking
right. You guys got the gay out thousands of years ago.
And that's the other thing. It's like who are Greek? It's so funny because there are Greek, but so like that's the people that interact with gay people from like foreign gay people, whatever. But then you do still have this crazy conservative shit of like I think gay marriage just was legalized.
Oh, really? Oh, like very recently.
And I remember it was like I was having dinner with a friend of a friend's family and their family. So these are people I don't know at all.
Yeah.
Right? Like I barely know. Like I know the guy. Like. And so I'm like, whatever. We happen to be in the same like thing. Yeah, I'll go. Sure. I'll have some fucking dinner with your family. And like, I also like, I like when people only speak Greek because it helps me with my Greek. I'm fluent.
Oh, that's fun.
I'm fluent, but you're in America, so I don't get a chance to speak. So I'm like, this will be fun. Just throw me in there. It'll be, and I'm fluent, but I'm like, the way an 8th grader talks.
Sure.
Like,
they're like,
I really have to pause.
I
have to pause too much. Dude, these people are like, they happen to be conservative. And that's another weird thing is like, I don't know, because my family's pretty liberal, even in Greece. Like, everyone is pretty left-leaning. And so but it does have like, the history of Greece, you're a history buff, it's like, it all boils down to people that came from communists or people that came from fascists.
Yes.
And it's like, there was a civil war after World War II.
After World War II,
And so like, everyone so it's like,
they've kind of picked a side since then.
Yeah, like the left-leaning people all kind of have their roots in communism, and the right-leaning people have their roots in like fascism, like coup shit, like royalist shit, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you had the king for a long time.
Yeah, we had a weird German king who can suck my dick.
Was it Constantine or something, or who is it?
I don't remember.
Or George or something like that. Yeah.
And Philip was born in Greece. The guy who was the Prince Regent or whatever.
Oh, okay.
The Queen's.
Then you had like a military dictatorship too.
Yeah. In '67, we had because a fucking social democrat was about to be elected.
And like, we can't have that.
Yeah.
We can't have poor people have rights.
So yeah, totally. And so these people were definitely from the fascists.
Oh, really?
Like you could I wonder what
they're dropping out of Jews control the media. You're like, I didn't know how to say that in Greek.
Yeah.
You're learning the fascist Greek.
Well, something happened around the 40s that, after that, there weren't that many Jews left in Greece. But if there were,
on holiday.
But if there were, they would be thinking that about the media.
Are there not? There's not a Jewish population.
Not really. No, there used to be.
Right? Like Salonika. Shit. Big Jewish population.
Yeah, huge. But so. Dude, and they were just straight up like, and I guess the Republican, the equivalent of the Republicans in Greece were in control, and they were like, I like their policies, but if he lets homos get married, I don't think I can support him anymore. And I was just
like an 8-year-old at the dinner table.
Yeah. Dude, this was 2 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
That's crazy.
2 years ago.
Wow.
Where it was just like he was offended to his core.
Right.
That gay people would be allowed. Like he felt betrayed on a deep level. And it's just like, how the fuck? And exactly, we started gay shit.
Yeah. Aristotle, Plato.
They were doing gay shit.
Yeah, that's cool.
We are gay as like the whole civilization is built on gay shit, and it's like to turn your back on it is
and
fucking
pedophilia,
crazy.
Don't forget.
Yeah,
Come on.
Times are different.
Some might say maybe a little more pedophilia.
Age was different back then. You died earlier, so
exactly.
12 was 25.
12, exactly. You do the proportionate math.
Yeah, you're
a promising 12-year-old 2T that you're teaching geometry.
Yeah,
that's like being a college professor. And is it a little wrong when a college professor fucks a student? Yeah, but it's not crazy.
How are you going to learn the earth is round without fucking a kid? There's no way. It's impossible.
They really loved fucking kids, man. It's crazy. That's a tough beat for us. But You got to take the good with the bad.
You had your heyday.
What can
the
I
Greeks
say?
Had a good time. You had a good time.
But yeah, so no, we just didn't have that shit. But I mean, a lot of Catholics I knew had it crazy.
Oh, for sure. I went to Catholic school. Did you go to? You didn't? Is there Greek Orthodox
There's Greek
school?
school after you would go
on
to
the weekend or whatever.
I went 2 times a week and on the week. So yeah, 3 times a week.
That's a lot.
School.
Oh, damn. Yeah. Okay, we had to. I just went to Catholic school, just regular. Yeah. We had to go to mass during school and all that.
Mastering school?
Yeah, we had to go like church during school.
Oh, okay.
Like that was great.
Wow.
The classes were shorter. They're like, you got to listen to this pedophile talk.
You
don't learn math today. Father Tom's gonna like look at you. Yeah.
The opposite. See, at least the Greek pedophiles taught you something.
Are there
your pedophiles are taking you out of class to hear them talk.
You don't learn anything from Father Tom. Not to use
except
teeth.
how to make. I was gonna say to maintain eye contact.
Maintain eye contact. A very good lesson
Respect.
as well.
This is the Wild West. It was like, I'm like, oh, he got me.
I outdrew you. Greedo drew first. Yeah. There we go.
You got me. I had my hand on the holster.
Catholicism rocks, though. I still have a little like love for it deep down. Catholic music is beautiful. That's like a weird.
It's like the hymn.
I like the hymns. I don't know why. Something deep down in me loves that. Stained glass is beautiful.
Hymns and the incense. Because Greek Orthodox does a lot of the same shit.
Yeah.
That is a good vibe.
It's a great vibe. And incense is great.
Yeah.
And then they're like saying, vote Republican and kill gay people on the pulpit. It's like, can we just watch football? It's Sunday. Come on.
Yeah, I would love to meditate in a church with like the hymns going and the stained glass window. And you're just like, I would love to just sit in there and like, but I don't want to hear the teachings.
Yeah. They was always a complete trash. They were always perverts. They would like, there was a thing at our school where the girls wore skirts and the teachers would put like fans by the door. There was like a couple of teachers that were notorious for putting blowing fans by the doors. You're like, oh,
those are the teachers.
Those are the teachers. They weren't even the priests. They were just adjacent. Yeah. They were all doing it. And we were like, thank you. That's great. I always wanted to see what it was like under there. Yeah, that's incredible. It's so weird that's like the thing at Catholic schools. The girls got to wear skirts. It's like God wants the boys to be horny.
Yeah.
How could we learn geometry if we're not half chubbed up? There's no way.
I know, because it's not like in the rest of Catholic dealings like women aren't allowed to wear pants. So why can't girls just wear slacks?
Well, they could wear slacks, but they were lesbians then. Yeah. That was kind of the unspoken rule at Catholic school. There were like 3 girls who wore slacks, and they were lesbians. And that was just like, okay, I guess we know who's going to hell. It's good to know. Yeah. Actually, our senior year, like in like the yearbook where you win like superlatives, this lesbian couple won best couple, and they wouldn't let them be in the yearbook. They had to revote. They're like, we won't allow that smut in the yearbook.
Crazy.
Yeah, they censored them. Yeah,
that's fucking.
And we're glad they did. Yeah. We're glad they did.
And you're safer for it.
Yeah.
And now, you survived.
Life is good.
God damn, that's so. You still do you think that like when you're saying you still have like some love for it deep down? You just like the traditional aspect of it. Are you still religious? Or?
No. I think there's some lessons to be learned from it, but no, I think Orthodox religion is it's obviously stupid.
It's crazy.
It's stupid. But like there's still like if you believe in it, you're a complete moron. But like no offense, but like you're a complete
no offense to 75% of the or actually probably 90% of the world.
I think it's probably like 70%. Atheism's up, I think. Atheism's on the upward trend.
If you combine Christianity and Islam, you think it's
and like people who say they're Christian, like I would maybe check it on the census, but I wouldn't. I don't.
Think you would check it.
I think I probably would because like you're raised in that worldview. I'm always gonna see the world through that eyes, like whether I want to or not. And I studied religion in college, so like I like this shit.
Yeah,
I find it interesting.
It is very interesting.
It's crazy that people kill people over it. Like that is fascinating. That like people bombed a comic book in Amsterdam because they drew the Prophet Muhammad. That's wild. That's crazy.
It is insane. To this day, people will kill over it.
They'll kill over it. We probably shouldn't have even mentioned that. That was probably a bad call to even mention.
No, but I'm with you though because I am fascinated by it because it's like especially when you look at the history of Christianity, it's like this little obscure like sect of Judaism essentially where they like at that time like a guy a day claimed to be the Messiah.
Oh, there's so many other prophets.
At that time, it was like there was literally like a new Messiah and Jesus kind of flopped. In his era, he did flop. Like
it wasn't popular for like 100 years.
It really wasn't. And then it was just like they caught a couple weird breaks with like Saul.
They got in the algorithm a little bit.
They literally, Christianity got in the algorithm. Caught in the algorithm. Yeah. Christianity's Bobby Althoff, where it's like this. Everyone believes this. What the fuck happened here? Where it's just like, how the fuck did this happen? Where it was like, it kind of was this weird random thing, and then I have to look at it more, but I'm getting kind of into like Middle Ages shit.
Oh yeah. And so Middle Ages is great.
It's so interesting, but I guess
back when women were in their place. back when we had witch hunts for good reasons.
Sleeping in the barn.
Yeah.
Where everybody slept with their donkey and shit like that.
That's what I've always thought, because like Islam is in the year like 1400. Like everyone's like, they're so backwards. It's like, they're just doing what we did in the year 1400. They're just younger than we are, you know. That's also probably not going to go over well for the people online. But, you know.
Well, I think the like, I guess before Islam, is it like the Arab world, or I don't know what, like they were so advanced mathematically.
They invent algebra's named after an Arab, Al-Jabbar. Yeah, it's named after an Arab guy.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. It's named after Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
It might be.
But I do think I do think there is something to, it is wild. There's no way like religion didn't put a little stop to that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Where it's like they were crushing it, and then it's like, you know, somebody probably said science is the devil.
No more math. And then it's over. Math.
Because the church would do that thing too, where it's like, at times it was the most scientifically progressive body,
and then they'd be like, we're actually gonna burn you. And
then it's like,
they would go up and down.
It would just, so it's like this. It is fascinating, but it's just fascinating to look at it from a historical perspective. Like, how the fuck did Christianity just become this?
It's crazy. We're seeing it right now with Mormonism. Like that's a new religion that's popping off. They're kind of
popping off.
Oh, it's like the fastest growing religion. Yeah,
really?
Mormonism's like trending upwards. Yeah, because people are stupid. It's like big in Asia.
Get the fuck out of
here. I'm pretty sure it's going huge in like China and like Southeast Asia.
Interesting.
Mormons it's programmed. They have to be missionaries for a year. So it's like a pyramid scheme. It's just an MLM for Joseph Smith. It's great.
That's so interesting. I had no idea.
It's like rapidly growing.
Wow, that's an interesting point. But I think what I need right now, Geoffrey, is the smoothest cannabis smoking experience possible. 1 second. Ah, yes, a beautiful freeze pipe. My preferred method of smoking cannabis. Don't believe me? Just watch, folks. Wow, that's wonderful, Geoffrey. What do I fucking love about this? Well, folks, what do I love about the freeze pipe? Ignore what just happened. We'll cut around that. What I love about the freeze pipe, Geoffrey, is the secret detachable glycerin chambers. What I have right here in my hand right now. You put them in the freezer. They cool, okay? You leave them in there 1 hour, and as smoke passes through, it's instantly chilled by over 300 degrees. That's right, that little cough you heard earlier, that's because I have asthma, and I probably shouldn't smoke. But my doctor said if you're going to do it, use a freeze pipe. That's right, pal. I want you to get a freeze pipe. You know what? Before you leave, we're handing you one, and you let us know the next time you come on how much you liked it. Folks, if you want to shop the smoothest pipes, bubblers, bongs, and dab rigs at everyday prices by visiting, how you're going to do it is by visiting thefreezepipe.com and use code Stavvy for 10% off your entire order. That's thefreezepipe.com and use code Stavvy for 10% off. Shop today and start fighting fire with ice. You got to do it. Isn't that right, Eldis?
Absolutely. The freeze pipe is a wonderful smoking experience.
That's right. You heard it from my Albanian producer. Go to thefreezepipe.com, code Stavvy for 10% off. Anyway, Jeff, I bet you wish you could smoke it, but you haven't earned it yet. Maybe next time.
Yeah. It's like doubling every like 10 years or so.
We got to cover that on Kush Brothers, Eldest. Once a month we do a news program. Where we get high.
You talk
and
about
read the news.
Yeah, talk about the Mormon growth. Yeah. Mormons are Scientology's huge.
Yeah. Come back for you smoke weed?
Oh yeah.
All right, come back for a Kush Brothers episode.
Oh, I would love that.
We'll cover the Mormon Church. What are we ready to go to questions here, Eldest? What do you think?
Time.
Yeah, we're at 56 minutes.
Let's do some fucking questions.
There we go.
Is good. Yeah.
This is where they leave you voicemails, right? I love this. Nice.
Your expertise is as a quarter century of not getting pussy. We'll come in.
It's gonna be a lot of sex problems.
Oh yeah, probably.
I'll have some great sage advice.
Yeah. Probably mostly sex and theology.
Okay. Hell yeah. There we go.
Go ahead, LD. Play us in.
Hey, Stav. It's Joe. Hey, Stav. It's Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Big fan of the show. I've got a real moral dilemma here. So I've been with my girlfriend for about 7 months, and I love her. I haven't actually told her that, but I do.
You're telling me before you tell her?
That's
fucking wild, bro.
Little early to be in love, too. 7 months, come on.
I go back and forth. If he feels that way, let him say it. But if he's saying it to me, you got to tell your girlfriend.
Right,
you can't tell me before you tell her, man.
She's like a big fan. She's like, he told Stav, not me? What the fuck? Okay, where's he going? He's going to Colorado.
I told her that, but I do. And now I'm really second guessing it a bit. So I went out to her hometown. I live in Colorado now and like it out there. But so I went to her hometown, which is in the South, and basically her family and her friends had some choice words, kind of about. Well, black people. I'm not sure. I mean, this makes her racist. But, it's really making me second guess. Like, is this what I'm getting into? Like, am I putting my eggs in the wrong basket here? So, yeah, if you could give me a little bit of advice on what I could do here, maybe a test that I could do.
A test.
We'll ask her who the greatest Boston Celtics player is. She says Larry Bird. You got to get out of there. That's wild.
Yeah, you got to get Russell. You got to hear Russell.
Yeah,
you're looking for Russell.
Absolutely. Robert Parrish is a cool answer, though, too. We'll allow that. Kevin McHale. I don't think that's racist. That's actually cool. I like that. So well, I think we know what the choice words were, but
maybe what you mean is choice word.
Yeah. Maybe they brought back some of the old timey ones, though, too.
That's true.
Oh wow. I think you got to get out.
Yeah, I mean,
you can't.
Here's the thing. What's kind of giving me pause is that he's like, this doesn't necessarily make her racist.
It's not a deal breaker for him.
Well, no, but it's like what you want to hear in this situation is like, this is shocking. I'd never expect this from my girlfriend, because certainly plenty of people come from dumb racist families that break out and they're like even a little embarrassed of where they come from. It's like, look, I can't change them. They're my family. We'll have some awkward Thanksgivings, but this is like I'm not getting the sense like his girlfriend is vehemently anti-racist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Is she laughing along to these choice words? How does she sing Kendrick Lamar when it comes on? Like, that's what we got to know.
Yeah. So now I'm more interested in the kind of tests he would like. Like, what kind of tests are you expecting her to do? What's a good test to see if your girlfriend is racist?
Say BLM, is it Blue Lives Matter or Black Lives Matter? That's a pretty good test.
Oh, yeah, actually, no joke. Get a fucking, like, thin blue line T-shirt.
Oh, yeah, wear it around her.
See how she responds.
Yeah, right.
And get a really tough, get, like, the Punisher. You know what I mean? Like, get fucking wild
shit. Telling her stories about crime in Chicago. See how she reacts.
Talk about how scared you are of every big city.
Yeah. You hear about this black on black crime, babe? It's an issue, and the Democrats won't deal with it. Yeah. I think that could be a good test. Mention homeless encampments. That's an adjacent one as well.
Does she feel bad for homeless people? Or does she think they should be exterminated?
Yeah, I get that. That's
does she think we have some moral obligation living in the richest society in the history of the world to do something about it? Or does she think they're all lazy animals?
Does she prefer the Alien Ant Farm version of Smooth Criminal? I just thought the original was a little too funky.
So yeah, dude, I think, I'm with you though. It's like, because if you don't know whether she's racist or not, and her family is racist, it's not looking great.
Yeah, if she's close with them, it's probably
it's not looking great.
Even if you don't believe it, still seeps into you. You heard that shit when you were a kid. It sticks with you.
I mean, this fucking guy still believes in Catholicism on some level.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
I still do the sign of the cross a couple times a week. Yeah, absolutely.
So, I don't know. Someone who's fucking racist and shit with a racist fuck family. First, racist fuck family is as close to a deal breaker off the bat as possible. And so I'm also curious about, like, here's the other thing. It's not just that they say it. It's that this was his first visit.
Oh, yeah. They didn't have any qualms about saying it.
This wasn't like they can't even hide it for the first visit.
Were they sober? I'd like to know if they were sober. Not that it matters, but it'd be interesting if they did it sober first time. If it's sober first time, you're out. You got to get out of there. They're like, they said it before they asked his name.
Yeah.
They're like, you hear what that guy did in Montgomery? He beat up those poor white people.
God. I'm aiming towards, and it's like, this isn't a friend that you see sometimes. This isn't somebody you play like pickup fucking hoops with. This isn't like, you're trying to start a life with someone.
Can you love a racist?
Can you love a racist?
What does that say about you? What does that say about you?
Let's say, and like, I know you don't want to get too ahead of yourself, but it's like, you want to have kids whose grandfather is this guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that
sticks in the blood.
That's in there, yeah.
It skips a generation. They come out.
They come out even more racist.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Try some of our patented tests.
Yeah.
That we outlined.
The alien ant farm. If she starts bobbing her head, get out of there.
But, now I see why he maybe hasn't told her yet. I think maybe you were right, and maybe it's time to.
Did she think Malcolm X was a little too loud and out there?
Yeah. Would her grandparents never have supported Martin Luther King at the time? But now
they're like, he did it the right way.
Yeah. Now anytime a rock gets thrown, they're like, the beautiful Reverend would have never done that.
Yeah, she pro Second Amendment, but not for the Black Panthers. Yeah. That's a good one.
So good luck, buddy.
Good luck.
Wouldn't want to be you, I guess. I'd be probably out of there personally.
Yeah.
I don't think I could deal with that, man.
That's
because it's funny because we just talked about this in theory, and then I thought about, like, if my fucking girlfriend's not just said one racist thing, but we're saying it so much it left a mark out.
Yeah.
Like, you'd have to say something.
As a guy who my parents are they have their racist moments. It's not good. It's not good.
Yeah.
You gotta really fight back.
Racist moments, black girlfriend, huh?
Yeah. My mom thought she was Italian. She's only half black, so my mom saw a picture like, oh, Italian girl. I was like, wishful thinking, mom. Wishful thinking.
All right. Okay. Very nice. I personally don't think I could fucking do it.
I think that's out. You're only 7 months in. It's not like you're 7 years in. I think you get out of there.
Yeah. Hit us with another one, Eld.
Hey, Stavvy. Love the show. Big fan.
Thank you.
Hoping you could help me with an issue I've been having. I have this guy who has done a couple of my tattoos. I met him when I was 18 and impulsively got a nose piercing, and ever since then I've followed him. I've always kept up with him. I liked his work, but he always, was like liking my stuff on Instagram, was always in my DMs, but He's like 12 years older than me, and he has a kid, so I was never interested. The pandemic rolled around, and I was very sad and bored. So I hit him up, and we hooked up like a couple of times. I was like a really dumb 22-year-old. And fast forward a couple of years, the last time I spoke to him was when he did one of my tattoos. This was in like 2021, and he had tried to hook up with me after the tattoo was finished in the shop, but I had almost passed out, and I also just didn't want to. So
yeah, you didn't have to have a health problem.
I also didn't have consent, and I was a little ouchy boo-boo on my arm.
That's also so wild to be a tattoo artist who knows how much a tattoo can fuck you up and be like, all right, time to take some dick.
Time to shine while she's in pain. Yeah. Jesus, that's a skeevy move.
Passed out, and I also just didn't want to, so I never spoke to him again. But to this day, he still, like, DMs me and likes every single thing I do or post on Instagram. And he's also made, like, very suggestive artwork about me. He's posted some drawings with me and just is generally still pretty obsessed. I haven't spoken to him in 3 years. And I have this tattoo by him, and everyone's like, whoa, what a cool guy, what a cool tattoo. Yeah, I've heard of him, and I always have to say, like, yeah. And all that's to say, like, I think he's a great artist, and I would love to get another tattoo from him, but I just don't want to get fucking assaulted the next time I go.
Yeah.
So, what would you do?
Wow. I mean, it sounds like he's a once-in-a-generation talent.
Yeah. How good is he, the Michael Jackson of tattooing?
Yeah. Sometimes genius comes with fucked up foibles. Yeah. I don't know. I think there's got to be another tattoo guy. Yeah. There's a few tattoo artists in the world. I think we don't go back.
No question.
He can't be that good.
100%. I mean, look, I even think, like, this is crazy because, you can have a bad experience with, like, this is, let's say somebody hooks up like a musician or something. It's like, that sucks, and it was weird.
Yeah,
it's like, all right, well, you just take them off the Spotify playlist.
Right.
This is on your body.
Yeah.
That's kind of fucking
and then people
crazy.
Ask you about who did it, and you can't be like, I mean, you could be like, he tried to assault me, but that's a tough
He was a weird creep who I hooked up with
who
once.
Has kids and is
and
married.
He can't fucking take a no for an answer.
Yeah. What if it's the tattoo's a swastika? Everyone's like, no one can quite do swastikas like Kenny. There's just no one else in the world who gets the angles quite right. I'm sure it's a great tattoo.
Yeah. So, I mean, in my mind, there is absolutely no question. You're right. There's a different tattoo guy.
There's many.
And like many different ones. And it's like,
posting the art about her, that's
art
pathetic.
About you is like, close to being like I understand if you just don't want anything to do with this motherfucker, so you don't want to even bring it up. Yeah. But him posting suggestive art about you is something you could be like, hey, don't fucking do that. Yeah. Like, you're being really weird.
Yeah. I get that she wouldn't want to reach out to him, but that is tough.
You don't want to start. Yeah, you probably want to let sleeping dogs lie, but definitely do not get a tattoo from this guy. I would even go so far as to say, like, can you get someone to change the tattoo he made? So that you don't have like this reminder.
Or just say someone else did it. Don't give him the credit.
Give a different guy credit. Publicity. Say a dead tattoo artist made it.
Yeah, right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, part of me wonders, because by the way, this wasn't that long ago. She says they hooked up during the pandemic, and he like since then like tried to he came on to her, assaulted her, and so. It's also possible you haven't really even worked through some of this shit, because this is like a weird. I think you should completely. I mean, I would even say fucking block this guy.
Block him for sure.
And
God, yeah.
And so, but certainly do not go back to this fucking guy's shop. Don't get a tattoo from him. I think you gotta get out. And it'd be a totally different thing if this was just like, we hooked up once. I didn't want it to go on. He hit me up a couple other times, and he was a little pushy, but I was like, no thanks, and he respected that. Mm-hmm. That's different. Then I think
constant DMs.
But the constant DMs and the like, this is what he's done, you haven't hooked up with him in years at this point, and he's still behaving this way, and it's like, this guy's a problem for you, I think, one way or another. And I would just stay completely shy of him. I would not get involved in this motherfucker at all. And yeah, this is a good opportunity for you to break out of your shell a little bit. Do a little fucking research. Go to a different city. You know what I mean?
There's better tattoo artists out there.
Yeah, where do you even live?
Yeah,
she's like, I'm in Mississippi. He's the best.
He's the
best
guy
in Biloxi.
Yeah.
And it's like, I guarantee you go to New York, LA, Toronto, Vancouver, wherever the fuck, you'll find a better tattoo artist.
Yeah, there's no way. He's not that unique.
Definitely not. So
block him. Nothing better than a good block on Instagram.
Feels good to block.
Throw it at him. Yeah.
It sucks for women. I feel like we've gotten like a similar call like this before, where it's like, oh, these guys that I used to go on a date with like are just showing up to places based on where I'm posting on Instagram. And like I went on like 1 or 2 dates with them, and like the sort of underlying thing that's like similar to this is like, it makes me uncomfortable, but I don't want to rock the boat or be a bitch. It's like, be a bitch, dude. Cut these fucking weirdos out.
100%.
Like, don't have any second thoughts about just cutting out people with like weird fucking behaviors. You're like not being a bitch. Like, just like, like I said, like imagine your friend is telling you like she's going through what you're going through. Like, what would your reaction be if you hear like someone else going through that?
Yeah, you're 100% right. Mm-hmm. And I also feel for this girl because it's like, first of all, you're still young. Like she's still 25, but even by doing the math, she's still like 25. She said he's 12 years older than her, whatever. That it's
I think
like
she said married too, or had a kid.
I don't
or wasn't married.
Tattoo artist.
Yeah. Right.
I don't think he's married.
Sure.
So I'm sure what's probably also strange here is that I'm sure it's so disappointing to this guy who is very talented, right? Mm-hmm. She's probably I'm just guessing she's into tattoos. Like people who are just starting to get cool tattoos, like they save up for them and they really like their artists and they really plan it out. And you're probably really into this culture. And it's probably so disappointing that this guy who you thought was this fucking, like, you had him on this pedestal. Yeah. You're realizing he's just a piece of shit guy like everyone else. Yeah. Like, that's got to be tough.
It's like how we feel about D'Elia.
Right. Oh, yeah. There was never a master of the craft like him. That's the most easy, like, fuck that guy of all time.
Oh, I know.
Because it's like, well, I mean, look. He never made what Louis made. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't change all of stand-up comedy. Yeah. He was just like,
he had a good Drake impression.
Yeah.
Great.
And he was a pedophile. So like, I'm sure that's like a disappointing thing. And it's also like, this guy's such a fucking loser because it's like, I bet you if he just was like a cool guy that played his cards right, he could just like, if he was not a creep, I'm sure our friend here might have even hooked up with him a couple more times.
Oh, yeah. If he didn't like her, all her stuff and DM her, she'd probably get a tattoo over 18 months. They'd hook up and life would go on.
Exactly. Have a good, until she got into a relationship. Like, he's somebody that, it sounds like she like admired him, whatever, but...
you also know this is not the only woman he's doing this to. 100%. He's doing this to like any female client who's shown any interest. So this is
Well, actually, you can hope that because it would actually be worse for our friend here
if it was the only one. If
he was like, obsessing on her.
Oh, sure.
Like just a handful of people.
Because then if she blocks him, he has enough 15 other women to bother.
That's best case scenario, right? But yeah, it's like, under no circumstances can you fucking get a tattoo from this guy.
No,
you can't. You gotta, and it's up to you to what you feel comfortable to the level. And I agree with you all just about the like be a bitch, whatever. But it's also like do it to where you feel comfortable and safe.
Because sometimes these guys will lash out if they're like, you fucking blocked me, and then then that's when they go wild. Yeah, you don't want that.
So,
either.
But definitely keep your distance. He's not good enough at there's no one good enough at tattoos to make you feel this way.
The Michelangelo of the body.
Yeah. Like you would have to, he'd have to be so good at tattoos that every second you look at it, not only do you not think of him, but you just feel nothing but overwhelming warmth and happiness. That's how good he'd have to be at tattoos to for this to be worth it.
Yeah, I'd love to see a picture of the tattoo to see how good it is.
Yeah, it's not like,
what if it's just like a terrible squiggle and she just has bad taste?
That's possible.
Just like a really bad Bart Simpson face.
Yeah, I mean, you're acting like he's the one doctor in a post-apocalyptic society.
Yeah.
And your fucking leukemia he won't be cured.
Only one with the antidote. Yeah. No, cut him off.
He's gone.
Get him gone.
Next question, Big LD.
What up, Stav? Love the podcast. First time caller. So I got a pretty fucked up situation. I basically slept with my best friend. And it like pretty much ruined our friendship.
Okay.
Classic.
So yeah, it was kind of inevitable. Like we were hanging out all the time and it just kind of happened. It's not really anybody's fault or anything. She was kind of really into it because it was this like forbidden thing because she was dating my really good friend for like years. So she's the ex of my really good friend.
She's actually... So you didn't fuck your best friend. You fucked your best friend's ex-girlfriend. Like, let's finish this. I'm sorry. This is so much worse than just fuck my best friend.
As a guy who's tried to fuck his best friend many times, that was like my friend zone thing. She won't fuck me.
Yeah.
Bad idea.
Anyway, there's way more of this than he even let on in the beginning. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Eldest.
And he still doesn't know. And I'm kind of like stressed about that.
Yeah,
I don't think he's going to really care because it's been a while, but it's still just like all this stress with like the mutual friends, the ex, all this like messy situation. I've like avoided some parties because I knew that, some people were going to be there. She's going to be there. We stopped talking because she was really hurt because I didn't want to date her. I was kind of telling her we should just stay friends, and she started kind of like using me as a punching bag, and I felt really bad about it because I don't like, rejecting anybody, and I've been in her shoes, so I was kind of prostrating, kind of like, letting her kind of take it out on me for a little while, and then I kind of cut her off at some point. So yeah, basically we didn't want to date because we were going to ruin our friendship, but we ended up ruining our friendship anyway.
Pause this. First of all, there's no we.
Yeah. She wanted to date.
She wanted to date you.
Yeah.
And you didn't want to not date her, not to ruin the friendship. That's lunacy. You just didn't want to date this girl. What you're saying is what you're saying is we didn't want to ruin. I didn't want to ruin our friendship means I wanted to fuck her once and then never deal with any consequences whatsoever after that. That's what not ruining the friendship is. So you're being delusional there. Anyway, finish this and then we can do the whole thing.
So yeah, question is not really like how to like become friends with her again. Like I don't really care about that so much, but more just like how would you navigate this situation? Because in the meantime I'm like just trying to see someone else or meet new people, but it's like just been really stressful and like kind of fucking with my head. Thanks. Yeah, love the show. See ya.
Huh.
Okay.
I think this guy really fucked up. Sounds like you really fucked up, buddy.
He certainly did.
I don't know what you should have done, but everything wrong, it seems like. Everything the opposite of what you did. Oof.
Yes. Yeah.
If you're going to fuck your best friend, you got to talk about it before you do it.
Absolutely.
You can't just stumble into it one drunken night.
And by the way, I'm a little dubious of your retelling of this, of his retelling.
I'd like to hear her side.
Fully,
I'd be very interested. Yeah.
Because
did he lead her on?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because earlier in the call, he's saying it was nobody's fault. When it's like, who the fuck said it was someone's fault?
Yeah.
It's like that. So to me, that says it was his fault. To me, it's like if you're throwing out proactively, it was no one's fault.
She went on a vacation with my family. I don't know why she thought we were dating. Yeah. I don't know. It seems like it might have gone further than. Or like, was it once? Was it every night for a month? Like, we got to know how many times here.
And it might have just been once. Who knows? But it's like you were a little naive to think that you didn't want to ruin the friendship. Once you fuck, you know what you're doing, bro. Yeah. And then at least there's no going back. I'm not saying you can't be friends with people you fuck. That's one of the coolest friendships there are.
Sure, I agree.
But that's really like that feels like winning the lottery, right? When you have a friend who just will fuck you sometimes, you're like, you're the fucking coolest person of all time. Thank you for coming into my life. Yeah. I love you more than my family and who I will end up marrying. But the second, because it stays in that realm when she really just wants to be your friend, but also will fuck you. Sure. It's the coolest thing of all time.
You get the best of everything.
There is no like feeling weird about it. There's just feeling like you won the lottery. There's just like all dessert. It's like all dessert with no tummy ache.
This guy tried that, but he fumbled the bag.
But he didn't even try that. He tried to
act like nothing happened.
He was just not in that situation at all.
Yeah.
You were with someone who wanted to date you, but because you were already friends, you were kind of lying to yourself that it was all because of the friendship. And by the way,
like the best friend dated her years ago, like that means nothing.
Right.
That's like meaningless.
Well,
in my opinion.
No, I think there's something weird there too, because to me that signifies that, and maybe I'm getting a little, caveman brain here, but it's like, is she really your best friend?
Right.
She dated your really good friend. Like, did you know her before him? Like that situation is a little interesting.
Did you introduce them to each other?
What's going on there? You know, and is she truly your best friend, or is this somebody who was, maybe she's a good friend, maybe somebody you've known for a while, who liked you, who started hanging out with you more, who maybe this is actually the male version of friend zoning. You do actually fuck them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
we still get to fuck.
We still get to fuck, right?
Patriarchy lives.
Yeah. You get to fuck, and then you're like, I changed my mind.
Sample the product, won't be making an order. Yeah.
Whereas like women have, women won't fuck you even once.
We're like basically canceling after the 7-day trial's done. We're like, before they charge the credit card, I'm like, okay, I tried it.
That's enough MGM Plus. Yeah. I saw the one movie I saw the one Clint Eastwood movie I wanted to see.
Does he have to tell his friend? Do you think his male friend?
So after we just kind of hit him over the head and just shit on him, now let's actually give him some what to do here.
You gotta tell your male friend, otherwise you're gonna be skipping these parties forever. If the guy's mad, then that's the end of the friendship, whatever. But 100%. You can't do this weird will they, won't they? Can't do that.
100%. What you need to do now is talk to him. You have to stop. And you also have to clear the air with her on some level. Right? Yeah. Like you can't leave it in this weird, I let her use me as a punching bag, which what you mean is
she had valid complaints and I heard them.
I know. You're doing, this guy is doing so much lying to himself in this question. Where it's like, no, dude, you fucked up. You have to, first of all, you have to come to terms with that you kind of, really look at it, and look, maybe we're wrong. We're probably not. But maybe we're wrong here. But really be honest with yourself. And did you lead her on a little bit? Did you know on some level this is how she would react? And you were just using you were doing the male, a girl won't fuck you because she'll say, I don't want to ruin the friendship.
Yeah.
And then a guy will be like, well, I don't want to date you. Yeah. Because I don't want to ruin the friendship, right?
Can't we just have everything?
Are you just trying to do that on some level? Mm-hmm. But you just have to you have to admit to yourself you fucked up, and you just have to be honest with her, and you have to apologize.
You can't expect to be best friends still, but you should still talk to this girl.
You at least need to have this be the thing.
You can be in the same room as her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Or you have to give it a shot, and you see if it's completely irreparable. And then you're like, all right, fine. Then I just fucked my way out of this friend group.
Right.
And you might have done that. I don't know, right?
Or you realize you might have wanted to date this girl.
Yeah, exactly.
This guy's been lying to himself. If his other friend's not mad at all, maybe he's like, oh shit, we could date. Maybe that's possible.
Who knows?
Just be on it. Probably not. But
probably not.
But
if I had to guess, you've kamikaze this friend group.
You might need a new friend group. Yeah. Start Pilates. Maybe do a pottery class. You're gonna need to meet some new people.
Yes. Yeah. But because we're your boys and your boys are keeping it real with you, you fucked up, and you have an alarming amount of delusion in the way you're describing this to us. Or you're at least, here's what we always say on this show, it's like, we're your lawyers, so don't lie to us. Right. Let us make the case to the judge. Sure. He's doing a lot of defending himself in court right now.
Yeah,
where it's like, no, this is not what this show is.
We know the laws.
This show is you give us the facts. And we'll spin it for you, but don't try and spin us.
Yeah, could he get her to phone in one time? I'd like to hear her side too.
Yeah, absolutely.
That. Yeah, that's the first time he talks to her in months. Could you call Stav too? I really want to figure this out. He's blaming her a little bit.
He's just not taking any blame for the situation.
Yeah, he's got he's not red pilled. He's a little pink pilled here, a little slightly,
little Crystal Light pink lemonade.
Yeah, I think I've been there, brother. I get it.
And even the saying he's prostrating himself and weird shit like that. It's like, no, you were just getting.
She's punching.
She was
bag,
pissed.
She was mad.
You did something fucked up to her, dude.
Yeah. Right.
You probably did a little something fucked up to her.
You probably whispered some sweet nothings to her, and then in the morning you're like, I didn't mean that. It was just post nut.
What about our friendship?
Yeah, it was like that post nut babbling. I love you. We should really date. And then in the morning he's like, fuck. I didn't mean that. That's a little. We've all done that.
We've
before.
all
you gotta
been
admit
there.
That's what you were doing.
But exactly.
Admitting is the first step.
And admitting it to yourself first and foremost, because you just in the future, the rest of your life, when you fuck up, not being honest with yourself will just make every situation worse.
Yeah.
And I think you're doing a little bit of that. I think you're a little embarrassed of your conduct. You feel you fucked up and you just got to take some responsibility.
Sure.
At least to yourself.
Yeah.
You can't be in this fucking weird lying about what really happened.
And you can't be not going to parties and being around people. You got to do something. Either cut out the friend group or figure it out.
Yeah. But talk to your friend and try and clear the air with her, and then just you'll know if you fucked up that friend group or if you need to move on. But anyway,
agreed. That's a good one.
Let's get a couple more here. That was a good one though, and it is. He's pretty young. It sounds like
Hopefully, what if it's like a 55-year-old guy
talking about his best friend?
Yeah,
50-year-old man talking about his best.
Still going to house parties. Yeah. Cool.
Hey, Stavros. Okay, so a few days ago, I drove all the way from Philly to New York.
Not that far.
Because a girl invited me there, and I was like, turns out she just wanted to hang out. I was expecting a little more, hoping for a little more.
Oh, God.
This is the third time it's happened that I thought it was going to be a date, but turns out she just wanted to hang out. Instead, this has happened at least three different times with different girls. Different women. And so basically I don't know, how do I appear desirable?
Did I call in?
Are you calling in from?
Sounds like
is this you 7 years ago?
Oh my God, this is wild.
A time machine.
Here we go.
Go ahead, Elders.
But more than that, a sexual or romantic relationship, I don't know. How do I give off those vibes? I also don't get that many matches on Tinder. So, 21-year-old guy, a little feminine. I don't know if that's part of the reason.
Could be part of it.
Yeah, I don't give off those vibes, but hopefully you can help me out. Love the podcast. Yeah, bye.
Okay. Oh, wow, buddy. This is a 21-year-old guy getting this. He's basically saying friend zone, or he's saying the same vibe.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure he's doing what I was doing, where you just you're their little bitch boy. He's she's like, want to come over and watch Enchanted or something. It's you're always going from Philly to New York, buddy. You got to get her to come to Philly first. And I'm sure he's sitting 5 feet away from her on the couch. He's like, I never made a move. I don't know why she didn't want to fuck me. Hey, you do have to make a move or try. I mean, obviously not pushing it too far, but put your arm around her and see what happens. Yeah. Get a gun.
Get a gun. Tell her something's going off in this house tonight.
I think that's the solution. A gun will always fix things. That is good. 21-year-old, little feminine. I think women like the feminine.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a problem.
Plenty of feminine guys.
Steven Tyler's done great
Prince,
in
for
life.
Christ's
Mick
sake.
Jagger. They're very feminine's huge. I don't think that's a problem.
It doesn't necessarily have to be. It's more.
I think this guy, he's 21. He probably doesn't quite know how to tell. Just tell her. Just tell this girl, oh, I thought this was a date, and see what she says. Like, just be honest.
I do think a big thing here is just being upfront with your expectations and, you know, what you want. Like, this is kind of, again, you have 3 experts on this panel right now. And a big part of clawing my way out of this was just like being pretty upfront and being like,
you can just ask, is this a date?
Or
when
like,
you're going from Philly to New York.
I've asked girls out and I'll be like, yeah, you want to hang, keeping casual, be like, you want to hang out sometime? And they've like deflected and been like, oh yeah, we can like, you know, get a coffee or something. I'm like, hey, I just want to like be open with you. I'm asking you out on a date. So if you're not interested in that, no worries, but I just want to know. And some of them have said no, and then some of them have been like, oh. And in that, just being
they
kind of,
respect that.
They respect that and be like,
that.
yeah, whatever, yeah, let's do it, you know?
I mean,
and like,
I studied abroad in Ireland with a girl, and then we came back to America. And I flew from Chicago to D.C. to hang out with this woman, and I just slept on her couch for 3 nights.
No, she's getting fucked.
Even
in the
though
other room.
she offered, she's like, you could stay in my room, and I was like, oh no. And then I was mad, like, why wouldn't she fuck me or what? I was like, because I was like too scared
too timid.
make the move, and like,
oh, dude, in high school,
it's embarrassing.
In high school, I spent like 3 hours in my car parked in a secluded place, like smoking weed with a girl after like a date.
Oh, for sure.
And just being like, fucking bitch.
Yeah.
Like,
why doesn't she unzip my pants?
Why doesn't she suck at my dick without me making a hint of romantic indication towards
these
her?
women probably think this guy wants to be friends.
It's true.
They might have sent in the same call. They're like, this 21-year-old keeps driving from Philly and won't fuck me. Like, you have to.
Yeah, the thing is, no one is going to unzip your fly and suck your cock.
Yeah. You gotta,
at least not yet. You got to work your way up to meet some of them.
You gotta like try, make a move. It's tough. I get it. I don't know.
Yeah, no trouble getting friends, but it's like sexual romantic friendship. So yeah, dude. Unfortunately, or not even unfortunately, you were just gonna have to start.
You gotta swing. You gotta swing to hit a home run. That's just really what it is.
It's not feminine. It's that you're passive.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Which we associate with women because they're weak.
Right?
No, we're kidding.
But plenty of like those, there's plenty of feminine horn dogs out there.
Absolutely.
That'll like, you know.
Oh, God, yeah.
That'll like, you know, see a woman and be like, we should mix our lipstick colors. You know? And, like, and then just fucking go in.
Yeah,
and then get on his tiptoes, go on for a kiss.
Right. Yeah. Prince had no trouble being a little feminine, fucking every woman in the world.
So yeah, dude, there's a little bit of like, you can't be going from Philly to New York. You can't be like...
with no expectation or with like no definitive expectations of what's happening.
And yeah, you're just going to have to start asking. And you know what I think a good piece of little homework for him would be is like, your homework is to get rejected 10 times.
Yeah.
Because when you expect to get rejected, you're like, oh, nothing's going to happen. So it frees you up. And then guess what? You might get a couple even when you're like, there's no way this girl is going to say yes. Go in thinking you're going to get rejected. It provides a little armor for you, and then you might not get rejected.
You also will get more confident,
and you'll get more confident.
Attracted to
so
that. Absolutely.
Go in knowing it's going to fail, and be like, hey, you look very beautiful. Would you like to go on a date sometime?
Yeah,
Want to go out for a drink? Most of the girls will say, yeah, you only need one.
You only need one. Yes, absolutely.
And most of the time, I don't.
You're not going to waste your time. He's like wasting a whole day of his life doing this for this woman. Like, cut the shit, man.
Yeah.
Get on that grind mode. Come on.
Unfortunately, it's just my guess here is like all of us. You were a little afraid. You didn't want to get embarrassed. It's hard to get rejected. You just have to get over that.
Yeah.
So your homework is to go get rejected 10
You're in
times.
he's in this fantasy like, I'm so nice and good looking. How could they possibly not come on to me? How could they not want to hook up with me? It's like, they don't. You got to tell them. They don't even know you're interested. They
might not know you're interested.
They got to.
He does seem nicer and less. He doesn't even seem pink-pilled. He just seems like
he's just could be a timid guy.
Yeah, he's just a timid
which
guy.
Is fine. Women can love that, but you still gotta say something something.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough because sometimes those timid guys end up with like the loudest, most annoying woman you've ever met in your life.
Yeah,
and it's like they balance out each other nicely.
They won't say no to her.
They won't say no to her, and they also love it. Like part of them like kind of likes that.
Right.
And so unless you get a loud, annoying bitch in your life, which doesn't happen to every timid guy.
Maybe he wants to get dommed. We don't know. He could be a
lot
little
of different
sub guy.
A lot of different stuff going on.
Yeah.
But you just got to put yourself out there, and you got to be explicit about like you have to be clear with what you're looking for, and just like that it does happen sometimes where it's like if someone just won't even consider you unless you make it clear. They won't consider you in that light.
Yeah, they don't even see you as a sexual being. They don't even imagine it.
Yeah, and you put that in their head, and it's like, look, they might say no. Like when they're thinking about it, they might say no, but they might say it's happened. Like yes, most of the time, if you ask someone out and they try and steer it to like a friend thing, 70% of the time it's like nothing's gonna happen.
Sure,
but it's happened to me multiple times where I've just been like, oh yeah, I'm not interested in that kind of relationship. But if you want to kind of date casually, you let me know.
Sure.
And it's like there's been a few. Yeah. I've had a couple nice kind of like fun relationships.
Oh really?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
That's nice. That's
so
good.
It's possible. But
also, this guy said he doesn't get that many matches on Tinder. I used to get so depressed about stuff like that. That women, I'm so ugly. It's like it's just an algorithm, man.
Yeah.
You can't.
Most guys don't get matches.
Yeah, we're all.
It's women are just like the biggest piece of ass you've ever met in your life gets matched, or some guy who's. Any asshole over 6'3" gets more really matches than they deserve.
It's just being tall. You just don't have that. Don't read too far into it.
I was putting that shit in my profile.
Oh yeah, of course you got.
Oh, are you 6'3"? I haven't seen you stand up yet.
6'6", 6'5".
Like 6'6". Yeah.
Oh,
he's 6'5".
You just put 6'6". That's your whole profile. You don't need
I think I was only 6'4" at the time. But
okay, nice. That's
a guy.
Hey, I don't want to overdo it.
Yeah.
6'6" will be like, come on.
6'4" is good. 6'4" is good.
6'4" is enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy could be very ugly. We don't know that, but I doubt it.
Even if you are though, you can still get pussy. Come on.
Absolutely.
And you just being nice. Like you're too. Most guys are not as nice as this person.
Yeah.
Most guys need to be nicer. You need to kind of go the opposite way and just stand up for yourself a little more.
Yes. Yeah.
Say what you want a little more. It's hard and it's tough to get rejected, but that's why we're telling you go get rejected 10 times.
Absolutely.
And then call in, let us know how it goes.
I feel like he also needs to just put this New York girl on the shelf. It's not happening.
Without question.
It's not gonna happen.
That's not
that's
too much baggage.
Never talk to this woman.
I'm sorry for not making that clear. Absolutely don't do that shit anymore.
This woman is out of your life.
I will say this
for away games.
I will say this. I would say, actually, this would be a good first step, is to be like, hey, I just want to, you could have that. Hey, look, I've enjoyed hanging out with you, but I'm not really interested in a platonic relationship. I'd be interested in dating. If you want to go out sometime, let me know.
Sure.
That actually might be a nice first step to but that might be good for him to kind of practice doing this kind of shit, right?
With this woman who's already basically rejected him, why not just throw it out there? Yeah.
Make it feel that first. Instead of that, kind of, it always stings.
Yeah.
When you're friends with a girl that you've just desperately want to not even fuck. It'd be one thing if all you want to do is fuck her. You want to fuck her and then watch reality TV together afterwards.
And talk about death. That's what you want. Yeah.
That's a stinging constant rejection where this will just be it'll feel bad for a couple days once you get the definitive no, and then you honestly will move on from there.
You
need to get
Band-Aid.
You got to get out of there, but good luck, pal. We've all been where you are.
Yeah, hope you do it before 25, man. Otherwise, that cum does start bubbling up. You're gonna have a lot of wet dreams.
Yeah, I'm sure you were getting.
I had a few. Because
you weren't even jacking off, correct?
I didn't jack off. I didn't jack off till just before I lost my virginity.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insanity.
I was never into jacking off.
Not into it. It's fucking Indian food.
Too spicy for me. Yeah. My parents didn't like it, so I didn't do it. Yeah. Give me diarrhea. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's fucking.
But now I do it, and it's better than sex. Usually, not all the time. I love my girlfriend, but it often is. Yeah.
See, we really were different types of like not getting pussy 20-year-olds. You know what I mean? Because I was.
Were you furiously jacking off
without?
I was just like getting hard and then being like, that's the end. I was like imagining hooking up hard. Oh, we're done. I didn't really know what masturbating was. I've never watched porn. I'm not a porn guy.
Never.
I have. My friends forced me to once in college.
Wow.
That's it. I'm not a porn guy. Yeah.
What do you jack off to now? Do you just
I just
thoughts?
imagination, just thoughts, yeah, or Instagram.
Wow.
I like it butt pictures.
Respect. Okay,
I gotta do that.
Okay,
but porn never my thing.
Not porn.
No,
nude, but not even nudes. Just like a nice.
Not
ass.
even a nude. I like
nice
a
ass
closed ass. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, I'm not into that.
Out of control.
Yeah, I'm too. That prude will never leave.
Wow.
Porn like disgusts me.
Wow.
I think that's a little on me, but I just am not. It doesn't turn me on at all.
And so you must have never really gotten into any, like, you didn't, like, I assume before the relationship, it's not like you were out there really hooking up. You just fucked a handful of girls.
I had like a little period where I did, but not that much. No, I think like I've had like sex like 12, 15 women, not a lot. Yeah. That's probably good enough for me. I've seen it, I think.
God, I need a little more of that thinking. I need that, dude.
I like the idea of sex, but then when it happens, I'm like, I could have been watching TV. I could have been reading a book. It's kind of a waste of 5 minutes of my day.
That's so fucking hilarious. I feel a weird, fucked up sense of like accomplishment.
Oh, sure.
I'm like,
there is
awesome.
the conquest of the new person. Mm-hmm. The conquest is a weird term, but you know what I mean. That is fun. That is fun.
And then just like afterwards, I'm just like relaxed.
Sure.
I'm like, this was great.
Yeah.
I got a nut off.
The positive affirmation is that's a great feeling. Yeah.
Very interesting. Well, a lot to get. When you come back for Kush Brothers, we'll have a lot to cover.
Yeah. I would love to.
We'll take a little jacking off. If our listeners who tune in for hard news will allow it, we'll take a small detour into jacking off.
There we go. I was big into AI. Remember AOL Instant Messenger? Mm-hmm. For some reason, I was big in like the horny chats when I was like 14. I was like dirty talking, but I didn't know what it was. I was like, I'm going to take my penis and put it where it belongs. Because I didn't even know. I was like, I hope they'd tell me. Where should I put it? I don't know. I was like a scourge in those chat rooms for like 3 months when I was maybe like 9th grade.
But not jacking off, just being horny.
I would just get hard and maybe a little cum would dribble out. Yeah. You probably stopped getting wet dreams at like 15. I had until I was 25.
Dude, I've had maybe 2 in my whole life.
Oh, I had like 50 probably. Yeah. I just thought that's what happened. Every once in a while, the lake overflows over the Hoover Dam and just dumps a little cum on your bed.
Damn, dude. Now, what were the wet dreams about?
They were usually about some girl in high school, probably.
Gotcha.
The girl I was in love with that week. Yeah. Or like,
but you watch
Sofia
porn.
Vergara.
So what were you even?
SI Swimsuit Edition was huge for me. I was big, and every year it came in April.
But you wouldn't jack off to it.
I would just look at it and I'd be like, "Ooh, I like this girl," and then
what the fuck? Oh, I can't even fathom that.
Yeah, I like body paint issue. Yeah, okay.
That's insane to me.
Thick Ashley Graham, she's doing it for me.
When Ashley Graham came on the scene, what a time.
That was big.
That dude, I can't even. I'm short circuiting. I can't.
Yeah,
I can't relate to that.
People off.
But not even okay. The porn thing is one thing.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But it's like I kind of see it and I almost respect it. It's like somebody who's like, somebody who's like somebody who has a flip phone.
Sure.
That's what not watching phone is. You know what I mean? It's like good for you, man. I wish I could do that. Right. I can't. I'm addicted. That's how I feel about the porn thing.
You see, I don't Pornhub, that's the one. I don't even know the other websites. I've never been to Pornhub. I don't even know what it looks like.
Look at you.
I have no idea.
That's crazy.
I think I should do it once.
Just once.
Well, I remember I watched this woman, Sweet Nancy, get plowed in college.
Sweet Nancy.
My friends made me like Clockwork Orange, watch
Pull up
porn.
Sweet Nancy, Eldis. I want to see what she looks like.
I can't remember exactly. It was something about Sweet Nancy porn. I don't remember exactly. Nancy Sweet might have been Nancy Sweet.
Just an an image.
It was her.
Is that her?
I think that was her. Yeah,
good.
She was in a field on a picnic blanket, and a bunch of men fucked
That's
her.
enough. We don't want him to get hard.
I'm not into that. That did nothing to me.
So that's one thing, right?
Some clothed nuns though could have got me going.
That's what I'm saying. Is like, look, I get that and the no porn, but like not jacking off.
Yeah,
that's the thing that I can't even.
I almost didn't even know what it was.
That's crazy.
Like our Catholic school, they didn't tell us it was wrong, but we just didn't have sex ed. Or maybe I was blacked out during it, but I don't remember it. I legitimately didn't know what masturbating was till college.
College?
I knew like it existed, but
Friends
I didn't really,
weren't even
I didn't
talking
really
about
know what you did. I didn't know what the.
I mean, I remember like everyone. Sometimes early on, people would come up with their own weird ways to beat off.
Oh,
until
really?
everyone got the standard.
See, I don't do that either.
What do you do?
I fuck a pillow.
You fuck a pillow.
Yeah. I fuck a pillow.
What the fuck?
Pillows around America. Many red roof inns. Yeah.
That's what you call jacking off?
Yeah.
Is fucking a pillow?
Yeah.
You're
Maybe
like,
a sleeping bag or a blanket sometimes, but mostly a pillow.
That's it, dude.
I've done the hand thing like I'm not into it. I'm not attracted to my hand.
Holy
the second I touch my dick, I'm like, that's you? I hate it. I hate me.
This is fucking crazy, dude.
You know what the really gross part is? I've stopped a couple years ago because my friends told me this is gross. I would just come on a pillow and I didn't have anything. I was just cum would go on the pillow, and I had this dirty cum pillow under my bed that was like yellow and crusty and like it was really disgusting. I admit that was wrong. I would like break it out. And my girlfriend was like, "Oh God,
that's better than." Holding your dick to you?
I can't. It doesn't do anything. I've never been able to do it.
So insane.
I've like humped a pillow up before, but it's usually I'm on it. I'm riding the pillow. I'm on top missionary.
You're on top missionary. Exactly. The pillow.
Yeah. Call her Rihanna.
What the fuck is going on, dude? That's insane.
You should. It's fun. Try it out.
I think that's
you get
insane.
A real thick like Tempur-Pedic pillow.
Where does your dick? So your dick just rubs?
Yeah, it just like mashes into it. Yeah, I guess.
There's no in. You're not fucking.
It's not going in. It's just against my body. Really, I'm just coming right in my belly.
So you'd rather fuck your stomach than fuck your hand. Is what it comes down
I'm
to.
into my stomach. I like my stomach. Yeah, you know. I guess that's what it is.
Holy shit.
People always, I didn't realize that was weird until I said it to my friend like a year ago, and he's like, what the fuck?
No, it's one of the most fucked up things I've ever heard.
Way. I thought it was half the world does hand, half of them do a pillow.
That's crazy.
But I thought that's how the world worked.
But I will say, it's what I was just getting to where it was like, early when you're like 12 to 14.
Sure.
Or 12 to 13. You know, it's different for different people.
Yeah.
Everyone early jacks off in a weird way. They found out.
Okay.
Where some people were pillow humpers, right?
Yeah, that's what everyone says. Like that was.
It's
I
early.
just learned it at 25, so I'm doing the 12-year-old thing.
That's the thing. You're developmentally
like maybe
stunted.
I'll get out of it in a year. I'll be like, oh, my hand is sexy. Yeah, maybe I will.
No one thinks their hand is sexy.
I know. That is a funny way to think of it, though. Like I love my fucking hand.
But like everyone, but then you just grow into, there's some knowledge that gets passed down or something.
Yeah. Someone tells you like you don't hump a couch.
I would literally like rub my dick on my hand.
Oh,
like,
really?
Like it was like a fucking prehensile clit. Yeah.
You're just flicking it against your hand. Wow.
Early on, that's how I jacked off to. You know what? I will say, maybe very early, pillows were involved. But I think I was like rubbing a pillow.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And I was jacking
into a
off.
couch. I feel like I've never done that.
That's
actually, I find that barbaric. But the pillow, that's a gentleman's game. Yeah. Some of these hotels have great pillows too. They give you 8 of them. You got to use it. Come on, I'm doing it on every one.
I'm gonna start bringing pillowcases on the road.
I do come on the pillows in a hotel. I don't care. It's like give the Guatemalan maid something to do. Yeah. I leave a tip. I leave a little donation at the end. Yeah.
As long as it stays on the pillowcase.
Yeah. Oh God. It is disgusting saying it out loud, but we're all dogs deep down.
Sure.
A little bit.
Fucking wild. No, that's an insane way to jack off.
Yeah.
And I wonder how. Like that's another thing. It's like you can't do that as an old man.
True. There will be a day my knees will give out, and I'm like, I can't do it. Put the pillow on me, Sharon. I'll have to do it. Yeah, they'll have to move it against me. That will be a dark day.
Yeah.
I feel like you will probably start like jerking off normal in the next year or so if you just like started jacking off.
I gotta see. Do you always put lotion on your hand?
No.
See, I don't even know that. Okay, I assume it was always
you don't need
lotion.
It doesn't need to be a whole.
Doesn't have to be a big to do.
Oh, really? You just right,
grab
just
your
like
dick
that.
and start.
My hands are kind of clammy. I think that's what it comes down to.
You're really too. The idea of your hand
to do with your
I'm really reading into the hand.
The hand is just an extension of your brain.
Exactly.
It's not like a body. It's not.
You are really hung up on the
your
hand.
body.
That's first step of getting over this. Just don't even think of it as your hand.
Okay. Yeah.
Think of your dick getting jacked off.
Oh, sure.
Okay?
Someone's hand.
You're
Someone
just
else's
jacking
hand.
off.
Yeah.
And that's why not watching porn is because. I mean, you probably have to close your eyes and think about
I
whatever
do.
you're thinking.
Yeah. I just put two celebrities together and they fuck. Joan of Arc and Denzel Washington. Okay, we're going. Okay, never thought. Yeah, it's beautiful. I think I think the pillow thing I probably will change one day. No porn. I'll never watch porn.
And I respect that.
I'm at the point where I never will.
I respect that.
I think the imagination is the way to go there.
Yeah.
I
For
think
sure.
I enjoy that.
Keeps your dick harder too, because like when you're beating off the weirder and weirder things.
Is there a point where you like have to keep topping it a little bit?
Or it's just like so specific where you're like, I'd love a fat-titted Colombian with blonde hair.
Does it get that specific?
Oh,
I don't even know that. You can do like any race,
you can get
any
whatever
job,
you want, brother.
Like a Puerto Rican plumber, like
you
could.
Like,
it's like
I bet if you look that up. I mean, probably the Puerto Rican's getting fucked by the plumber.
Okay,
if I had to guess, but you know that's out there.
Yeah, okay.
Or the Puerto Rican plumber has a huge cock. You know, like that's whatever way you want to do it.
We're into that.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I hope to wean myself off pornography someday.
I think that's good.
Thanks,
I hope you do.
We'll get there. We'll get there someday.
And I hope to use my hand one day.
Yeah,
we'll meet in the middle one day.
Yeah.
We'll shake our cum-drenched hands. we'll make an accord. Yeah.
That's right. Why don't you fucking have stuff? Oh, fuck. We should have. Maybe we'll put this earlier, too. We should say that you have a special out on YouTube.
Oh, yeah. I do have a special on YouTube. The Only Funny White Man on YouTube. No offense to the Greek people. I don't consider them to be white. They're more Asiatic. Yeah. You're not in competition.
Yes.
Yeah, please go watch the special. I'm very in the hole. Please go watch it. Please go watch the special. It's good.
Good special. Very funny. Go see Jeff live.
Go
You're
see
out
me
there.
live.
Yeah,
go to whitecomedian.com. I bought that URL in 2014. I pay $80 a year for it. Please make it worth my while.
Whitecomedian.com.
Go to whitecomedian.com. It's the best thing I've ever done in my life. Please, I'm touring everywhere with this godforsaken country.
Whitecomedian.com. I'll just play one nice one to take us out.
Let's do one more. Let's do it.
Stavvy baby, what's up, man? I have a problem, and I think that you are just the man to solve it for me.
Okay.
I'm a single guy in the city. Every once in a while, I do have a lady stay over, and I have a consistent issue where I'll be trying to go to sleep, and I will just have a pounding headache. And it dawned on me recently, like, holy shit, this is a dick pill headache.
Oh.
So I'm wondering, like, what are your tips to avoid that? Like, is there a specific like milligram that you have dialed before you won't get a headache? Any like, pre or post routine that helps you avoid headaches? Really wondering because these headaches suck, but I also don't want to stop taking a nice dick pill. Having a nice rock hard cock.
Course.
Love you, man. Any advice is appreciated.
Wow, I've never taken a dick pill. I know nothing about this.
Yeah.
Are you a devotee?
Big dick. And again,
what's your company?
That's the thing. We can't say that for free.
Oh, all right. That's fair.
And this is another moment to the dick pill tablet people, general men's health. How about the men? We'll call it the men's health segment of advertisers. You're losing free money. This could have been such a natural place for us to put in an ad for your product. I would like nothing more than to be the spokesman for male performance.
They should definitely have you. The audience would buy them up.
It's crazy. You're losing money. We're both losing money. Both me and your company is losing money every day.
Capitalism is not working the way. The free market's not working.
Everyone
the way
talks about the free market, but me not having a Dick Spill sponsorship is proof positive that it does not work.
Libertarian theology is bankrupt.
It will never work. It will never fucking work.
I don't. You do take the nameless pill.
Yes, I've taken a pill or tablet. I won't say.
I would love to do. I think I want it. Does it make you last longer?
It makes it does.
It does? Okay.
And it makes you able to, you bust once, you can get right back into something.
Oh,
that's the truth.
That's because I have to wait an hour. I'm honestly, it takes so long. I'm like, I'm already on to the next thing. I'm not in the mood anymore. Okay, I gotta try this. Okay, but you do. I know this headache. Is this real? You do get a headache.
Hey, look, you got to pay the cost to be the boss. You know what I mean? You can't. You don't got Advil too? The only kind of pills you got in your home are dick pills? Come on, buddy. You want a hard dick or not?
Take a Tylenol, bitch.
Take a fucking Tylenol and dick this fucking bitch down. I mean,
it happens every time. The headache?
No, it does. No. I think probably you're this guy's probably overdosing a little bit. If I had to guess, you're probably, because you get into this thing where you're like, well, I can't. There's nothing worse than taking a dick pill. It doesn't even work.
So you might as well overdo it.
So I think there's I've certainly. I mean, listen. I've been dealing with dick pills and dick pill and different stuff since gas station dick pills.
Are you doing the trucker pill?
Not anymore. No, but I tried some
the horny goat weed or whatever.
Like
oh my god!
There was a time in my life where I was taking like this is early on before you could get them everywhere. There was like you could buy them from a research chemical facility.
Oh my god, I've heard of this.
And you would have like pipettes full of
you put it on your tongue, you just a little drop.
But no one tells you the doses because they're not. You're not technically supposed to be taking them. They're for research. Everyone knows what the fuck they're. You can buy a lot of shit that way. And so I was fucking.
Is this a Silk Road thing?
It wasn't quite Silk Road, but it was like the way I paid for it was Venmoing a guy and putting like. He asked me to put like lunch in the subject. So it was like some guy was stealing from a research facility.
Just giving you pipettes of salt water. And you're like, it gets me hard.
Yeah.
It's all
if it was salt water, let me say that was a strong placebo effect.
Yeah.
If it was. But I mean, there were times where I like fucked and then I would like stand up and be like,
oh, you get dizzy? All the
like,
blood somewhere else.
So now I'm very careful about dosing. The last thing I need is to die due to dick pills. And there have been times.
You don't want to be the one guy who did it. You don't want to be the one guy ODing on marijuana. You don't want to be the one.
No, there have been times on the road where I'm like, oh man, please wake up. Just not even because I want to live, just because I don't want to go out with this toxicology report. Just like
the killer.
Yeah, just bleep that out, Elvis.
Sorry. I forgot. No brand names.
That's okay. Your inclination is for specificity.
Yeah.
You're a good comedian, but we
my
can't.
Consumerist capitalist mind could just not see around that. I just love brands.
It's important that we don't no free lunch on the Stavvy's World podcast. So maybe experiment with a little lower dick pill dosage personally, my friend. And look, to avoid the headaches, do everything you would do to avoid regular headaches. Make sure you're hydrated.
Is it hydrating? Yeah, a little Tylenol. Eating a full stomach. Probably don't do them on an empty stomach.
Yeah, but they are more effective on an empty stomach. So
right.
that is,
okay,
there are again
give and take.
So
do you want a nice rock hard cock or not, buddy? That's what it's all about, dude. Really.
That's the thing. So. Also you sound kind of young, and what's going on with you, pal? Like, again, not because I don't have a sponsorship yet, I can say maybe you don't need dick pills right now.
Sure.
Maybe, I'm just fat as fuck now. Like, I'm past the point where nature has stepped in and said,
you can't get hard without the pill.
I can get hard, but it's just more of like you really want to know.
It's a will they, won't they type thing. You want to know.
Yeah, the percentages are a little like I'm still usually like if my dick is a casino, the house is still winning. Yeah. But you know, couple lucky jackpots, couple more jackpots that I like have gotten through. You know what I mean?
Putting a parlay with your dick.
No. Little, okay. There's definitely like some card counters come in, they can exploit the system. We'll put it that way. It's more of like you really want to make sure you're fucking really getting in there, and also it's like it's the unnatural. It's kind of like I'm like religious people have a field day with me because they're like, yeah, you're a fucking glutton. You're like you're with these loose women you don't care about, which is not untrue. All of this stuff is not like they're not completely off base. Like my dick was the hardest when I was in love. You know what I mean? So I've gotten very fat and I haven't been even close to in love and whatever. And so I'm living wrong, right?
They say that's why you can't get hard.
I think there's a little bit of that. I'm too fat, and and which is actually I actually think they're
love
right.
will get you hard.
If I was in better shape and cared about. Not that I don't care about them, but you know what I mean? Like, if I love the person I was having sex with, it would be different. So, for our young friend here, it's like, what are you doing to need these dick pills? Is it just a nerve thing? Because even when I was younger, I might take one because my nerves on the first hookup. I was always nervous when I liked a girl.
You want to like impress her. You gotta have the hardest cock she's ever seen. Yeah, you like that shit.
It ain't gonna be big, so it better be hard.
Yeah, right, exactly. I don't know where the clit is, but I am hard.
Yeah, it's like McDonald's. The sandwiches are hot. Yeah. You know what I mean? Mickey D's sends you a cold fucking McChicken. You're pissed. You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of my philosophy. On the first one, maybe see if I get juiced up a little bit.
But then after that,
I wasn't using dick pills.
You show her the real you.
Exactly.
You let her see what I'm like.
Yeah,
exactly.
But with you, my friend, I would just say, what's going on here? Are you listening to your doctor's orders?
This is a little toxic masculinity, possibly, that you have to. 20 years old, I got it. The other guys are doing it. I got to do it.
Yeah. So I would say ratchet down on the dick pill, on the dosage for the headaches, and also, like we said, get a little exercise, drink some water, all that good stuff. But also think about why you're using dick pills. Do you really need to use them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So good luck with your little... And look, Eldis has mashed his 3/4 hard dick into his girlfriend for the last couple years. Eldis refuses. You're not taking the pills? Eldis is au natural.
No, look, I'm not saying I would like never take one. I think it'd be a fun little evening to just give it a spin.
Sure.
I don't know. I feel like I've had like a few friends who were like using them throughout our 20s, and it was always like, damn, dude, like, I get it, but I don't know. I'm
with you.
And when you're young, I get them not wanting to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, because that shit is really meant for like old men who can't get their dicks hard. So, it's fun for a stunt, but it's also like a heroin thing. Heroin's got to feel awesome. Especially the first time, Especially the first time you take it.
No, the joke that keeps getting cut out of specials, but I will put in one at some point, is that taking dick pills feels like lowering the rim to like 7.5 feet, where it's like I can dunk.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like I'm in the book. I am fucking this bitch up.
Fucking
I've always had layup dick, my whole life, and now I'm dunking. You're right. That's true.
But I'm also like, I don't know. If my dick just doesn't get hard sometime, I don't really give a fuck.
You're not ashamed of it. I get
no, dude. You just gotta be like, well, I didn't get hard this time. Hey, what are you gonna do?
Better luck next time.
Titties,
There's another game next Sunday. Yeah, there's 18 games a year.
Yeah, you don't gotta win every single game.
I like that. I'm kind of glad. I'm like, yay, I don't get to have sex. Great. What a loss.
Not meant to be. What are you going to do?
Let's go get a fucking bacon, egg, and cheese. All right. Well, there you have it, my friend. And there you have it, everyone who listened. That's our episode for this week. Thank you, Jeff. Great.
Thanks for having me.
Very
Great
funny
time.
stuff.
Great
Go watch
time.
the special. Go to whitecomedian.com.
Please do. Follow me on Instagram, please, for the love of God.
Follow him everywhere, and we'll put his links and shit in the body of everything. And we will see you next time, guys. Bye-bye. Thanks.